Welcome to Omaha.
Oh, and you and the barbecue. Day 3 at the College World Series.
Leslie's Omaha in 45.
Welcome again to Rosenblatt Stadium. Game 5 is our first win-or-go-home day. It is all SEC, and either the LSU Tigers or the South Carolina Gamecocks' dreams of a national title will end in 2 or 3 hours or so. It's rare, but it's not unheard of for a Game 1 loser to go all the way through and win a College World Series championship. It has not happened since USC pulled it off in 1998. Day 3, our brackets look this way. In bracket 1 tonight, Stanford and Cal State Fullerton play at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Bracket 2 has the day off tomorrow at 2 Eastern, an elimination game on ESPN2 between Southwest Missouri State and Miami. That's followed at 7 by the Day 2 winners, Rice and Texas. So welcome again to Omaha. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to you. Dave Barnett, Jeff Brantley. Our contrast today is South Carolina is returning here after making it from a Game 1 loss all the way to the championship game last year, and they bring 10 seniors back here. LSU is a program that's used to getting here, but they have no players who have ever performed on this stage, and they have only 3 seniors, one of whom will be their starting pitcher.
When you think of LSU, Dave, you think of championships, you think of Omaha experience. Well, guess what? None of these players before this year have ever been to Omaha. Smoke Laval, the coach for the Louisiana State Tigers, is starting 6 sophomores and 1 freshman. The lone senior that's in the lineup today has never beaten South Carolina in 5 years experience, and he's facing a 5-year senior on the South Carolina side that is the captain of this ball club. 10 seniors on the roster for South Carolina. They have the edge in experience.
What they have in common is they need some pop. They need any kind of offense. In fact, from the middle of their order, look at Game 1, 3 through 6 for LSU, a collective 0 for 15, and not much better for Carolina.
Aaron Hill is the leader for this LSU ball club. 0 for 4 in his first ball game. He is due. He has really got to pick it up for LSU. Brian Busher on the other side for South Carolina. He's a guy that's got to have some pop in the middle of this order. Both of them have got to play well for their respective clubs today.
So those are bats that need to be heard from. For LSU, the first-round pick of the Toronto Blue Jays, the shortstop Aaron Hill, as well as Ryan Patterson. They need big days for South Carolina. SEC batting champ Brian Busher and catcher Landon Powell look to contribute. If they don't, it may be homebound.
Life got simple the day I plugged into the big brown machine. Let's Coast overnight, done. China, 48 hours, done. Brown picks it all up together and delivers it all on time. And with their global tracking system, I get the proof. It isn't that I'm not a trusting person. Yes, it is.
International Overnight Brown. Synchronized. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Buy the Nintendo GameCube for only $149.95 and receive The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Click. Shh. And a playable bonus disc. Free.
I was on a 300-minute wireless plan. Some months I'd be under by 100. Did I get to pay less? No. Did I get to keep those minutes? No. But if I went over, slammed with a bill almost twice as high. Frustrating? Yeah.
Only Singular lets you roll over unused anytime minutes so you avoid paying overages months you talk more. They're your minutes. Keep them. Singular has rollover on national plans and your choice of cool phones.
I call it they're my minutes, I'm keeping them plan.
Come in to find out how Singular fits you best.
Ask your doctor if Celebrex is right for you, or call 1-888-CELEBREX.
NCAA Championships on ESPN. The College World Series is brought to you by UPS, Commerce, Synchronized, What Can Brown Do For You, DirecTV, and Nintendo GameCube. Born to play.
look from across the street, atop the dome of the Henry Gorley Omaha Zoo. LSU at South Carolina, meeting for the 4th time this year. SEC rivals in our first win or go home matchup in this 2003 College World Series. And as we get set for the first pitch, let's welcome the 3rd member of our crew with us again this afternoon, Alex Flanagan.
Hello, Dave and Jeff, and happy Father's Day. Well, as you guys have mentioned, LSU has a surprising lack of experience. Not one of these players on this team has been here to Omaha before. And Smoke Lavelle says that was actually a contributing factor to his team's opening game day loss. He says that his team came into that game tired from all the distractions of things like opening ceremony, celebrations, things like autograph sessions, and most especially the constant media attention that LSU always gets when they come into something like this. Of course, Lavelle is not one to police his players, so he hasn't done anything different in preparing for this game. He is just hoping, Dave, that they will adjust better to the distractions of being here.
Well, you'd think it's going to be easier having that first one under your belt, even though it didn't go anywhere near the way they hoped it would.
Well, even after the experience for South Carolina last year in our meetings with Ray Tanner, their coach, you would think from having an experience and getting into the final game last year against Texas that this ball club with the leadership that they had would have come and played much better in the first ball game. But it just goes to show you the jitters that show up when the bus arrives at Omaha for both clubs, experience or no experience.
Ray Tanner had always said he would never come here until he brought a team here. And last year he did, and he brought a team back from an 11-0 opening game loss to Georgia Tech all the way to the championship game when they fell to Texas. They're in the exact same position this year after losing big in game 1 to Stanford, and they fall on 5th-year senior Stephen Bondurant to try and start what they hope is that road back. He is their normal Friday starter. He's used to starting weekend series. They say he sets our tempo. We feed off his intensity pound for pound. He's probably our most competitive player.
Well, they're going to need some competitive fire today to liven up this ball club. And I think it's a big key for Bondurant, especially early in this ball game, to really throw strikes. Challenge the LSU hitters, make them put the ball in play, and get everybody on his defense involved in the ball game. And I think that will help them as the game moves along.
So we're set to go, and J.C. Holt, sophomore center fielder, will lead things off for LSU. From a hometown in Louisiana that has no stoplight. His highlight of his college career so far was being named regional most outstanding player. He hit .643 with 8 RBIs and a 2 home run game, an average coming in at 300 for the year. Terrific speed. Love to get him on here and get something going early against Bondurant. Old 16 of 18 stealing bases this year. Models his game after Juan Pierre. Kelly Nutt, the home plate umpire. Because that one's over. 2 balls and a strike. Al Davis at first. Randy Bruns at second. Frank Sylvester at third. And it's 2-2. Since Randy Bruns is at second, he draws the hat cam assignment today. We'll see the view from the top ahead of Randy Bruns as strike 3 retires Holt. And the rest of the lineup for the Tigers will look this way for Smoke Lavelle. Patterson, and then the SEC Player of the Year Hill. In the middle, where they got absolutely nothing in their first game, Harris, Gill, and Zarang. Stewart gets the start at DH. Nakarada and Liuza, the bottom third of the order. So here's Ryan Patterson, who homered in his first College World Series plate appearance against Jason Windsor of Cal State Fullerton. Came to the College World Series last year on his own. He was playing summer league ball in Beatrice, Nebraska, and hopped in the car and drove to Omaha and took in the atmosphere as a spectator, and much happier to take it in from the batter's box.
So there actually is one player that's been here before.
Well, not played here, but he's been in the park.
much different sitting in the stands as a spectator or just showing up here. Even if you're playing Creighton plays in this ballpark during the regular season, and even if you're playing that ball club, it's not the same atmosphere. There's no tents and barbecue then.
Reaches and pounds it right back at Bondurant for a quick second out.
This is a great play by Bondurant. Great reaction. A lot of times that's just survival. Being able to move your glove that quick. But this is already a different start to this South Carolina ball game than they had in their first game against Stanford.
Aaron Hill, first-round pick of the Jays, 13th overall. The SEC Player of the Year, second-team All-America. There is his lucky quarter in his right pocket into the game. It didn't do him much good on Friday night. But in the 3 regular season games against Carolina, he was his usual tough out. 6 of 12, drove in 6 runs, hit for the cycle in the second game, even though they lost that game. He went 5 for 5.
It's funny you mentioned putting the quarter in his right pocket. He plays on the right side of the infield if you're facing the catcher, and Blake Gill, the second baseman, has got a quarter in his left pocket. How about that? Is that superstition at the finest?
They all have some superstition.
Whatever it takes, I don't care.
Those two, it involves placement of the loose change. Bondurant gets them to foul that one back. 1 and 2. If Hill can get on, they give the cleanup hitter Clay Harris a shot.
I like the quarters better than I like the Southwest Missouri State snake.
Yeah. No kidding.
They can keep that one down there.
Harris has a lucky $1, which he keeps in the dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I would imagine if Bondurant had it his way all day long, it would be to his satisfaction to face Aaron Hill just like it is right now with 2 outs and nobody on all day long.
To right center field, carrying pretty well, but time to get there for John Kutlangus on the track. And a 1-2-3 first for Stephen Bondurant. First inning has been a real problem for LSU starter Bo Pettit. We'll see if he can get through the Gamecocks as easily.
Hey, Karl Malone, you just finished your NBA season. What are you going to do next?
I don't know. Mow the lawn.
You've just finished mowing the lawn. What are you going to do next?
Make a sandwich.
You've just finished spreading the mayonnaise. You've just finished putting in fabric softener. Changing the cat litter. Taking a long nap on the couch. What are you going to do next?
Hey, if I say we'll go, will you stop?
Deal.
Where are you going after the game? NBA Finals, Game 6, Sunday night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC.
Time Warner Digital Cable gives you the power to control movies. See the best romantic comedy since Pretty Woman.
Hello.
Hi. He thinks I'm a guest.
No need to make a reservation. This hit begins the instant you order with your Time Warner Digital Remote.
Oh, no, that on your face.
Jennifer Lopez.
You're beautiful.
Ralph Fiennes.
So are you.
Order made in Manhattan. Now with the power of eye control from Time Warner Digital Cable. If you don't have digital, call Time Warner Cable now.
When I get older, losing my hair, many years from now, will you still be sending me a Valentine? Birthday greetings, bottle of wine. If I'd been out till 2:45, would you lock the door? Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Well, some of the clouds that we haven't seen the first 2 days have appeared over Rosenblatt Stadium. Maybe a little warmer, not quite as breezy, may not be quite as friendly to the pitchers today. There's been a steady breeze blowing in, keeping a lot of balls in the park. That may not be the case today. Record crowd last night, better than 26,000 to watch Miami and Texas. Packed house 23,000 yesterday afternoon for the day session. Should be pretty close to that again today. And Bo Pettit, 5th-year senior like Bondurant, out of Houston's Sharpstown High School, has battled a blister on his middle finger all year. That accounts in part for the high ERA, but he is 9-2. This is his 16th start. And Jeff, you can question why he would get the start, because Justin Meyer, a freshman, pitched terrifically well against South Carolina in the regular season. And Pettit is 0-4 lifetime against them, but Laval went with his experience.
You've got to trust that the coach of each of these respective clubs knows their players as well as anyone. And I've got to believe that from a program perspective for Smoke Laval, that's why Pettit is out there today. He's a senior, a fifth-year guy, and from what he tells us, he deserves to be out there today.
John Koutlangas, 18th round pick of the San Francisco Giants out of Port St. Lucie, Florida. Models himself after Ichiro. That's not a bad decision for any outfielder.
Tough act to follow right there.
And he doesn't carry money in his pockets out in the field, but he has worn the same tore-up sliding pants all year, in his own words. So that's his baseball superstition. 2 balls and a strike. Lost much of last year to injury, but it made his way back by a College World Series time. A very solid senior year. Carolina opens with 3 seniors, 1, 2, 3 in their lineup. The issue for Pettit all year has been getting out of the first inning. His first inning earned run average is .840. And the problem has been control. In 15 innings, he has walked 15 batters. Given up 12 hits, 14 earned runs in the first inning this year.
And that's exactly what we've seen for ball clubs in this World Series thus far. When they have lost, it has been because of their failure to execute, not only on the mound, but defensively early in the ballgame.
So Koutlangas aboard. And now fellow seniors Harris and Busher will hit. Busher, the best average in the SEC this year. Landon Powell, the cleanup hitter. Junior catcher, followed by Malillo and Triplett. Trey McDaniel, a late decision to start him at DH. With Campbell and Collison, underclassmen in the 8-9 holes. Justin Harris made the All-College World Series tournament team last year. Hit .385, drove in 7 runs. And in this postseason was having a terrific regional and super regional, and managed one of the 2 hits against John Hudgens of Stanford on Friday. Going with small ball here, and a perfectly placed bunt will advance Koutlangas to scoring position for Busher.
In order to get the ball down, you've got to keep your bat, especially the bat head, above the baseball. And Justin Harris does a great job right here. Just pushes it up the right side. Doesn't try to do too much with it. Just get the ball down.
Ray Tanner has Koutlangas, probably his fastest player, down at second base, and he has his top hitter, .385, Brian Busher. And Pettit comes high with ball 1. Busher has been a little more vocal since the Game 1 loss on Friday. A leader because of what he's done on the field, but a leader after such a disappointing effort by himself and by his teammates in more of a vocal form. He's trying to make sure they don't go 2 and out by falling to LSU today. And again, Pettit struggles, falling behind in the count.
A lot of the South Carolina players look up to Busher because of his work ethic, because showing up to the ballpark early, hitting off the tee, trying to better his game in every way. And he does it by his actions, not by his words. And when you get to a point in the season, as we are here, when you talk, people listen.
Blake Gill flags that one down to short right. Koutlangas makes third, but a big out. And a nice reaction at second by Gill.
Gill gets a great jump on this ball right here. You've got to anticipate the ball coming to you. You've got to want it. You've got to expect it. And Gill does a great job with his first step getting to this baseball. If this ball goes into right field, it's 1-0 South Carolina.
So up to Landon Powell now to try and get Carolina a first inning run. 25th round pick of the Cubs. And the Gamecock, who has had the longest relationship with his coach, Tanner, smokes this one toward the corner and right, 1-0 Carolina. Powell, who was 11 of 15 in the postseason, entering the College World Series.
Dave, this is what we talked about. Brian Busher and Landon Powell. Somebody's got to get it done in the middle of this order today. You see Landon Powell. You can see his eyes and his chin right on this baseball. Doesn't try to do too much with it. Just tries to get the fat part of the bat to the baseball. Does a great job right there.
Landon Powell met Ray Tanner as a 5-year-old when Tanner was coaching at North Carolina State. Became their bat boy. And obviously developed as a player as he hung around that program. And then when Tanner moved to the South Carolina program, there's a story in between which we'll get to, but Powell ended up moving down the state and playing for Tanner. Now Melillo. In the regular season series, the Gamecocks' top hitter against LSU, .417.
We talked about the different things that college baseball players do. This is a unique way of putting on eye black. You put it on and you just streak it on down the sides of your cheekbone.
The Braveheart look. We've seen it from a lot of teams here.
Warpaint.
Probably most prominently from Southwest Missouri State.
And I would guess that when you come to the College World Series and you're 19 years old, this is a war. This is about as close as you're going to get to it in collegiate baseball when you're fighting for your very lives, especially on a day like today, because if you lose today, you're going to the house.
Well, the same pattern has followed Pettit into this first inning, falling behind in the count. He walked the leadoff hitter, Kootlangas. That has cost him a run, and now he's behind Melillo, 3 balls and a strike. Ryan Triplett in the on-deck circle. Missing wide, 2 aboard for Triplett. Second walk of the inning. Now what Laval will count on is for Pettit to recover and settle down and pitch much better after the first. That's what he's done most of the year.
Well, he's got to make a big pitch right here to keep this damage to a minimum. I know that Ray Tanner, after being shut out by Stanford, really wanted to get on the board early. I think that's why we saw the bunt early in this ball game by Justin Harris, trying to get something started to make his ball club feel good about themselves early in this game.
Triplett's versatility really helped South Carolina recover from a poor start this year. He's a natural shortstop. Began the season at second. Moved to the outfield. They finally settled him in at first base. That solidified the infield and opened up a spot for Steve Collison in right field. And after a 1-5 SEC start, things finally started to click. They finished 19-11. Won the East for the 4th time in 5 years. Won their last 9 in SEC play. One of the key moves, one of the key moments of the year was when Triplett finally settled it at first.
We've got a couple of guys on this South Carolina ball club, Triplett and Justin Harris. You mentioned early Justin Harris made the all-Omaha team last year as a center fielder. Now he's playing shortstop. How about that transition? How'd you like to see Andrew Jones move in from center field to shortstop?
I don't think we ever would see that.
I don't think so either.
Robin Yount in reverse.
Pretty amazing.
44 wins. Best pitching in the SEC. Best pitcher in the SEC. But David Marchbanks didn't have it at Stanford Friday. Tanner says out of his 7 years, this is his favorite team. Because of what they've overcome. Sinking line drive and the ball in front of Ryan Patterson. His throw will be on the way to the left side of the plate as Powell comes home for a 2-0 lead in the first. Triplett with the RBI, and Carolina stings Bo Pettit at another rocky beginning.
This is exactly what Ray Tanner was trying to start with the bunt by Justin Harris, trying to give his boys some confidence, especially early in this ball game. You see Triplett just stay right on top of this baseball, and you can hear the South Carolina team from their dugout. All of their team is on the top step right now, and you can hear them all the way up in the booth cheering for their guys at the plate.
Now, Trey McDaniel, freshman from West Columbia, South Carolina, all-state last year to the high school level. This is a little bit of the flyer, maybe, that Tanner's taking, and it was the last decision he made after batting practice. Start Nick Gardner, more experienced DH, or go with freshman McDaniel. He's got some home run potential from McDaniel. He hit only 208 coming into today with 3 home runs.
And there are coaches at the collegiate level and in the big league level that will make a decision right before game time based on how you hit batting practice. And maybe Trey McDaniel had a nice BP today, and Tanner decided, let's get this kid in the game. He might hit me a long one.
Well, a chance to make his coach look smart. And another single. Malillo coming home, a better throw, but still not in time. And another run home for the Gamecocks. And the decision looks absolutely brilliant right now. 3-0.
You've got to believe that you put a freshman in the ballgame. It's got to be a gut feeling. You get him out there, and when he comes through like this is not only a boon for Ray Tanner, it's a boon for the whole South Carolina faithful for this kid to be able to come up and get a base hit, especially a 2-out knock to start this ball game off.
So it's happening again for Bo Pettit. Now 17 first inning runs in 16 starts. 2 of the 3 were walks that came all the way around. 2 walks, 3 singles. Sacrifice bunt played a big part.
And how many times have we seen this, Dave? In every ball game, the losing team has had some major struggles in the first inning, and it's usually been because of jitters or bases on balls or wildness from the starting pitcher early in the ball game, and they haven't been able to recover from it.
So early action of the bullpen, Jason Detterman. Brady Weirhold, the pitching coach, back at the dugout. Laval again having to come from behind early, and Michael Campbell settles in. Excellent defensive left fielder, hitting .270. His teammate, Matt Campbell, a little older, got the obvious nickname Soup. So Michael had to settle for Crazy Eyes. Wow. You can make that work for you. Baseball play. Down the line. Long run. Diving chance. The Rain can't come up with a great effort, but no catch. And the ball getting away briefly, but they're going to hang on at third base with McDaniel.
Zerang has got to go a long way for this baseball, and you can see it just tip off the thumb of his glove. When you're running that far and you've got to lay out a full layout to try to catch that ball, very difficult to get it straight into the heart of your mitt.
RBI double by Campbell, scores triplet. The 4th 2-out run here in the first inning, and the Gamecocks have batted around. Steve Tollison, the right fielder, son of former Major League infielder Wayne Tollison. Most of his years in the majors with the Rangers. Finished up with the Yankees, and Steve remembers a lot of his childhood spent growing up Major League locker rooms and dugouts.
And I think that experience in itself is part of the reason that he can handle starting as a freshman on this Southeastern Conference ball club.
A Yankee, his favorite player, his role model, Derek Jeter. That's a good one. Even though Tollison's an outfielder, but a good one, a promising. Osuna figures to right back here, try to get him back here. Next year, another base hit. McDaniel home, followed by Campbell. And it is a total first inning meltdown for both of it. 6-0 Carolina.
And I think all of this hitting enthusiasm for the South Carolina ball club goes back to Justin Harris being able to put the bunt down, getting a runner in scoring position, and then you put together all these 2-out hits. All of this rally has happened with 2 outs. It's amazing what you can do with a little enthusiasm and a little emotion once you get the train rolling.
Well, you saw Laval signaling with his hat. Is he ready out there in the bullpen? The signal comes back. Yep. We're ready. And Pettit's gone. And Bo Pettit, who struggled with the first inning problems all year, really had him come up and bite him today with 6 2-out runs, 28 pitches. Still a man on. A 2-run single by Steve Tollison, the number 9 hitter, chases the 5th-year senior. And Laval and LSU in a 6-run hole already in Omaha.
Time to get to work. It's Monday morning. If you haven't left yet, traffic is backed up on the 10. Taking a look at the
Starbucks Double Shot Espresso drink is an invigorating blend of espresso and cream to help you take on your day.
With new Odor Eaters Plus. Odor Eaters Plus is the only insole with podiatric arch support plus protection on demand against odor and wetness.
Have you heard about the neighborhood? Where you can get local and long distance together for one low monthly price. Where your calling is unlimited, around town and across the country. Where voicemail and caller ID are included at no extra charge. The neighborhood, built by MCI. Where you can talk as long as you want, as often as you want, for one low monthly price.
Call 1-800-JOIN-MCI today and get unlimited local and long distance together.
Looking for a better way to paint? One touch, and the Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller gives you professional results fast. Color your world fast with the Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller.
Bo Pettit matches the shortest outing by an LSU starter all year. He goes only 2/3 of an innings, 6 runs, and another on the bases. His responsibility, 5 hits, walks 2. Gives way to left-hander Jason Detterman, who is undefeated with a 267 earned run average. What a start to the college career of the Baton Rouge product, a freshman making his 20th appearance, mostly in relief.
Left-hander, he's got great stuff. And as Smoke Laval has told us, they did not expect to be here this year, especially with the age of this ball club and the inexperience. But they are here, and you can see the makings of a great ball club in this LSU team. Experience is critical for this club, and I think part of the reason that we saw Pettit on the mound today was the reward of a 5-year senior. When you're trying to put together an all-star program that Skip Bertman started all the way back as far back as 1984, rewarding your seniors in ball games like this, I think really is what makes your college program. It makes you as a freshman really want to strive to be that guy. But it sure didn't work out for LSU today.
So it did not work out today, and he knows, probably already thinking about it, he's going to be second guessed because he had a freshman, Justin Meyer, who had much better success against Carolina this year. He pitched a complete game, in fact, surrendering only 1 run with no walks, 8 strikeouts. Decided Meyer might see action out of the bullpen today, or as a Game 3 starter. Game 3 looms an awful long way away right now, although the Langus pop-up should get him through the first finally. Aaron Hill battling the sun, makes the catch, and it's finally over. But not before 6 Carolina runs score on 5 hits and a couple of walks. Former coach, now AD, Skip Bertman, has to be a little discouraged at how it started today for his Tigers.
And now my dream car's here. I got a deal of this, I'm certain. Type in your choice, then hit return. You want selection, they're not hurting. Cars and trucks and cycles too, at the same place as this dress shoe. If it exists, it can be found. You can even buy a town and do this easy.
Winning ticket to the drenching
up. With one nasty supercharged engine. When you need the power, or not, we'll be there. Chevy.
I swim the 200. I study sociology. I grind out laps. I cram for tests. I race nationals. I take finals. And when I finish, I'll be ready to start. There are 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and we're all training to perform in whatever we go on to do.
Husker fan who had a chance the last few years to actually cheer on Nebraska in the College World Series. Stopped by Southwest Missouri State in the regionals this year. Our storyline so far has been pitching, and outstanding pitching, dominating effort by John Hutchins and Jeff Neiman for Stanford and Rice. Second win ever for the Owls here. And they have a rematch with Texas tomorrow. Texas got terrific middle-of-the-order production in routing Miami before a record crowd last night, and it was Miami's worst loss ever here in Omaha.
Tell you what, I would buy a ticket to watch Townsend pitch against the University of Texas. I really believe that is going to be some kind of ball game, especially two Texas foes, Rice and Texas, and they're one of their best pitchers going against that exciting offense for Texas. This is going to be a fun matchup.
Well, Clay Harris tries to start the long road back for LSU. Harris, the first baseman, mostly a pitcher last year, but a natural third baseman, still making the adjustment defensively to first. And saves this one a long way. Goodbye. That's a start. Number 16 of the year for Harris.
And let's don't forget, this offense of LSU may be young, but they can score some runs. They've scored 20 runs this year. Breaking ball from Bondurant. He leaves it held high. Those usually go a long way in Omaha. Left-hander versus right-hander. If you're going to throw that breaking ball, it's either got to be backdoor or it's got to be in the dirt, down and in.
Lest you think this is a safe lead, you should think anything but that. This is an LSU team that had an 11-run inning against Baylor in the Super Regional. Harris contributing a grand slam. And they scored 20 in that game against Baylor.
It's LSU, it's Omaha, and the wind's not blowing in. You just never know.
Blake Gill now trying to keep it going. If you're Bondurant, you want to come out and throw strikes, but you don't want to throw batting practice strikes.
Just want to keep the ball down in the zone, and that was a mistake by Bondurant. I'm sure he would tell you. He left the breaking ball up in the zone.
Busher over to chase this pop-up and watch it go about 10 rows back.
And I'm sure Ray Tanner will tell you, I would rather have them hit single-shot home runs and maybe make a mistake from Bondurant's perspective than to have him out there walking guys and hitting batters. As long as you've got your pitcher throwing strikes, you're going to get some defensive play.
Bondurant, like Pettit, a fifth-year senior, magna cum laude graduate in marketing and management. How to play again, and now working on a master's in human resources. So a young man who obviously has a lot more going for him than just baseball. And had a memorable outing in the College World Series last year as South Carolina eliminated intrastate rival Clemson. Those two went head-to-head in an elimination contest, part of the road back from the Game 1 loss to the championship round for Carolina. Got ahead of Gill, now falls behind. And Gill will look for the 3-2 pitch. And again, quick reflexes shown by Bondurant. Just as was the case in the first inning on the shot back to him by Ryan Patterson.
Bondurant finishes himself in a pretty good fielding position. But that ball right there, I don't care how quick your glove is, you're not going to get it around in time, especially coming off that aluminum bat.
Call it self-preservation. You got that practice that, can you?
Well, you can practice getting smoked, but you usually use a tennis ball for that. Reaction, whatever.
John Zarang now, the right fielder. Name like that got to be from Louisiana. He is. He's from Thibodaux. Struggled last year, struggled the first part of this year, then it kicked in for him. And he comes in at 336. He's got power, too. Is this one going to stay fair? It will hook foul. 18 home runs, including a walk-off in the bottom of the 11th of the regional final against North Carolina Wilmington.
Bondurant's trying to pitch inside a little bit with that breaking ball, but if he's going to go in with the breaking ball, it's got to be bounced in the dirt. You've got to get these LSU hitters to swing over the top of it. If you leave it on the plate, that's the ball that they're going to hit out of the ballpark. That's the same ball that Clay Harris hit out earlier.
Zarang followed up the Super Regional with a game-tying 3-run homer against Baylor in the final last year. That came around just in time for him to enter this series feeling some confidence. Bondurant's 2-1 popped up. And back out of play again. 2-2.
And you would think, Dave, from Smoke Laval's perspective, that even at worst case scenario that you lose 2 ball games and you go home, you've got just about everybody on this roster coming back with not only the experience of getting into regional play, but you've got freshmen and sophomores that have actually got significant playing time this year that you didn't expect for them to have. And now, not only have they got significant playing time, they've played at Omaha. I mean, what better experience can you get?
It's been almost a birthright for LSU players since Bertman really got the program rolling. Appeal down at first. Al Davis says Zarang held up on it. And another full count.
That looked like a pretty good pitch right there. I would have wanted that.
Looks like he may well have gone around. The 3-2 is lined to left, coming on hard. Michael Campbell has to take it on a hop. And Zarang aboard with a 1-out single. Don't forget, coming up tonight, a matchup of winners from the West Coast. Stanford and Cal State Fullerton, no strangers to each other. 7 Eastern. We'll go head-to-head in the winners bracket on ESPN2. Your starters in Game 1, Jason Windsor, John Hudgens, both extremely strong. Boone Stewart's in this one a long way to left center field, and it is gone. A 2-run shot, a 3-run response by the Tigers.
Like we said after the first home run from Clay Harris, any team that can score 21 in a super regional, they can hit. I don't care how young they are. These guys are excited. They can swing the bat. You better go talk to Bondurant and settle him down.
Jerry Myers is going to do just that. After Stewart's 7th homer of the year. Not much doubt. And Gorilla Ball made a return just when Billy absolutely needed it to show up.
Stewart definitely tagged that ball. That was in the right center field gap, just right of the 375 sign. That's a home run. That's a home run just about anywhere.
So, a 3-run inning. Homers by Harris and Stewart, only 1 out. And see if Bondurant can settle himself down after the talk with his pitching coach, Jerry Myers. Totally different feeling now, the LSU portion of the crowd. Ivan Nakarada, the third baseman. From Montreal, came to LSU by way of Polish Junior College in Florida and enrolled in January in Baton Rouge. Speaks 3 languages, obviously French. English, and the third language, not that obvious, it's Portuguese. They don't count baseball or Cajun as an official language. Portuguese is qualified.
I don't understand Cajun either. You got to be Cajun to understand Cajun.
You understand baseball?
Yeah, I got that.
1-1.
In Bondurant's defense, when your offense scores 6 runs and hit as long as South Carolina did in the bottom of the first inning, a lot of times you lose that edge a little bit. You lose your adrenaline. You're sitting in the dugout, and sitting is not fun for a pitcher. You'd almost rather it be a 2-1 ball game, and you just come in and out, and you end up on the top side of the 2-1 game. But it doesn't always happen that way in college baseball.
Not working that way today. Largely due to Quinn Stewart's 2-run homer, the 2-2. Just a little contact at the plate. Nakarada, drafted by his hometown team, Montreal, out of high school, and drafted again last year by the Astros. Down on strike, second strikeout for Bondurant, second out here in the second inning. Talk about what both teams needed out of the middle of their order after getting a combined 1 for 26 between these two teams in the 3 through 6 slots. Today they have a combined 4 for 8. Now the number 9 hitter, the catcher Matt Laiuza.
Another freshman.
Another one who's developed really fast, much faster than they expected. Also, he's shocked he's already a 300 hitter.
Not too many catchers playing behind the dish as freshmen in Division I baseball. Taylor Teagarden for Texas, and then this young man right here, both of them have had to gain some experience, not from the catching part and hitting part, but also from pitching, and had to do it quick.
Ran in the dirt again. A little bit with the control of his breaking pitch, and it's 2-2. It made him throw a lot of pitches after a 1-2-3 first. And that one misses away. He has another full count. His third full count of the second inning.
Bondurant's thrown a few pitches. He's given up 3 runs, a couple of home runs. But the one thing that he's not done is walk anybody so far.
Well, he has now. Again, Al Davis says he didn't go. 29 pitches and counting in the second. Definitely the proper call by Al Davis at first. And Laiuza aboard with 2 out. 3 runs in, back to the top of the order, and J.P. Holt, who struck out in the first.
Bondurant's got 2 hitters to get that third out. The last thing he wants to do is get to Aaron Hill with the bases loaded or even anybody on base. This guy is the best hitter on this LSU ball club. Even though he hasn't gotten a hit yet in the World Series, I would say he's due.
People call it the due theory. Donald calls it the chances are.
That's right.
Basically the same idea. The guy has a track record, even though he's in a slump. Chances are he's going to reverse the form and give you the big timely contribution.
In our conversation with Smoke Laval before this ball game, he was trying to explain to some of these younger hitters that hit ahead of Aaron Hill how they could possibly get on base, either by hit, working the count, maybe taking the walk, or getting hit. As if you can do that on purpose.
Oh, you can definitely do that on purpose. As we have seen. A couple guys got caught at it yesterday after a 15-pitch first. More than twice that inning, and still not out of the second. Bondurant threw a complete game in eliminating Clemson last year. I think he's on his route to a complete game here today. The last complete game
thrown in Omaha. If he continues on the streak he is right now with these 3-2 counts, he'll be done in a hurry.
Could be out of it now. Chopper handled by Malillo, but the Tigers answer quickly after Carolina's 6-run bottom of the first. 2 home runs in the top of the second. A solo shot by Steve Harris. And McKeeplow, a 2-run homer by the DH Quinn Stewart. And the Tigers are right back in it. 6-3. Headed to the bottom of the second in this elimination game in Omaha.
There's one tournament where the competition isn't among men and women, but rather gentlemen and ladies. And the tradition of 125 years makes this slam the grandest of them all. Wimbledon 2003 on ESPN and ESPN2.
This summer, ESPN2 invites you to the hottest block party around. Kick it on Friday nights with host Most Def for sports and more. ESPN2's Block Party, presented by Dodge. This summer, beginning Friday at 7.
It's Suzuki Summer Sizzler, and these great deals give you one more reason to get the new bike you've been waiting for. Get up to $400 cash back on select motorcycles. And on approved credit, use your Suzuki credit card for great financing deals, like $25 monthly payments for 9 months, or 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 6 months. There are also low installment loan APRs available. These sizzling savings give you one more reason to ride, and the deals won't last long. So get to your Suzuki dealer today.
Talk to your dad for a second.
What's your intentions with my daughter tonight?
Mellow Yellow asked, how would you stay smooth?
Well, I don't want to jinx it, but I think tonight is the night. My intentions are every bit as honorable as yours were when you met Mrs. Thomas.
Mellow Yellow. Smooth. Very smooth.
We're all right. We got them right on a long space, make them think we're sandbagging. Right. We're sandbagging. We don't like opening days. Carolina, you know, they're not any good. Just what? We lost 11 to nothing last year. We only lost 8 to nothing this time.
And the second straight opening game whitewash of the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Been 2 shutouts in the last 6 years.
Aaron Rawl looking on the bright side.
Well, you've got to be able to laugh at yourself, and that's part of accepting failure, and that's the toughest part that these collegians have to face. You get here and there's high expectations. A lot of their families have traveled from all over the country to come and watch their kids, and now here you are playing on Father's Day in front of your dad, and the last thing that you want to do is play bad.
Justin Harris looks for the strike. Now we'll see if Jason Detterman can really settle this. They want to get the last out against the 10th Gamecock hitter of the first inning. Best thing he offers LSU right now is pinpoint control. He has walked only 7 batters all year in 61 innings, only 3 in his last 48 innings. That is exactly what they'll need after the lack of control leading to the blow-up by the starter Bo Pettit in the first. Catholic High School in Baton Rouge sent a number of players in a number of sports on to college glory. And the only left-hander with any experience on their roster. This is deep left field up against the wall. Looking at it sail out is Patterson. Justin Harris with a home run.
Talked about Bondurant leaving that breaking ball on the inside part of the plate. These right-handed hitters, they get that bat to that ball in a hurry. You're not jamming them. And the same thing happens right here for Detterman. He leaves this breaking ball on the inside part of the plate. Justin Harris, all he does is drop the head. With this aluminum bat, you don't have to hit it right perfect. All you got to do is get the bat to the ball, and this thing jumps out of here.
And Harris continues his sizzling postseason. That one comes in tight and hits Brian Busher. So after the 1-2 pitch set out to left by Harris, Detterman coming a little too tight in on Busher, and now Landon Powell, the cleanup hitter, an RBI single in the first. Justin Harris, 5
.524 in the postseason. The Phillies won before Friday. One of only 2 hits managed by the Gamecocks. 1-for-1 today with a sacrifice in the first, and now the solo homer is 4th of the year. Here's Powell. Looks at a strike.
From a coaching perspective, when you give up 6 runs in the bottom of the first and your team battles back to get 3 back here in the top of the second, you'd like for your pitcher to come out and shut them down the next inning and keep that offensive momentum going. But being a freshman, pitching in the College World Series, it doesn't always go just like you planned it.
Just low, not too far from where the first pitch was. The teams we've seen the first couple of years have been really the aberrations. We have one dominant pitcher, and one team is out of it immediately, and it's really obvious. This is much more the norm. Even a big first inning, a big early lead, can't give you that much of a comfort zone because of the history of comebacks and the history of high-scoring games and home runs. We've already seen flying out of here already 3 home runs in this game.
Well, both of us, me and you, Dave, when we talked before the ball game, we were giving our predictions of home runs today, and we're already over the halfway point for me.
You may have thundered it by quite a bit. You said 5, I said 6. We got 3. And still nobody out in the second inning. Every Gamecock batter has reached base in this game already. And Powell with Busher at first. Chops the 3-1 pitch into the hole, and that one just past Nakarada. Perfectly placed, not hit well at all. But he has his second base hit. Tonight, Sunday Night Baseball has the best matchup of the year so far as Phase 1 of interleague play wraps up. Gary Sheffield and the Braves visit Ichiro and the Mariners. Best in each league head-to-head on Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Nextel, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, also available on ESPN Deportes. That's Maddox and Mesh. Great pitching matchup.
Mesh is pretty tough. We all know about Maddox.
Hey, Mesh is having a much better year than Maddox so far.
Mesh has got it working. That looks like it's throwing about $1 million.
Kevin Melillo walked and scored. Detterman wheeling to chase Busher back to second. Exactly what Detterman did not want to come right back out and not lock down the first couple of hitters he faces. Home run, hit batter, base hit.
South Carolina again with Melillo squaring around to bunt. Ray Tanner, especially with no outs, runners at first and second. They bunted in the first inning and it led to 6 runs. If you got runners at first and second, you bunt, does that mean you're going to get 12?
Bet against it. Warner's creeping in, bunted foul, ball on the strike.
Whenever you bunt, the only thing that you're trying to do is catch the baseball. You don't stab at it. You don't try to punch at it. All you want to do is get the fat part of the bat above the handle and just catch the baseball, bunt the top half of the ball and get it on the ground, and you've got your second.
One more lost art.
Just practice. Just practice.
Warner's charging in this time, and Nakarada hops on it, but still has only the one play. Busher takes third and Powell second.
Great job by Melillo right there. The first bunt, he stabbed at it a little bit. And this is the big key for a collegiate baseball player. You have to be able to make the adjustment. Right there, he doesn't even move the bat. He's in perfect bunting position. All he does is catch the baseball, bunt it towards the third baseman. He's got to come get the baseball. An easy advance for the 2 South Carolina base runners.
Open scoring position now for Brian Triplett, who delivered an RBI single in the first. Triplett, third-team JUCO All-America last year, Spartanburg Methodist College.
Watch him when he puts his bat up. See the angle of the bat. He keeps the bat head above the baseball, and that's how he can get it down.
I'm feeling we're we've got a demonstration. You see so many pop-ups. The guys are trying to find. There's a way to avoid that.
And you just have to keep the bat head above the handle of the bat and try to just catch the baseball. And a lot of it is just practice. When you take, when the bunt is coming, when the ball is coming, you keep the handle here nice and easy, and you keep the bat head above the baseball, and all you do is just catch it. You move up and down this way. You don't turn the bat like this. If you do this, you're going to bunt it up in the air, and you got a double play. And that's trouble.
You make it sound so simple.
It is simple. Bunting is nothing but practice. It's not a difficult task, unless you're bunting off the middle of it. Right.
There are always exceptions.
That would be a fear factor equation.
Well, rather than have to give in to triplets, they go ahead and put him on to load the bases with one out, and they pitch to McDaniel. So the intentional walk brings up McDaniel, the freshman, the late addition to the starting lineup at DH, who contributed an RBI single and scored one of the 6 first-inning runs. Rare walk for Detterman, albeit intentional.
And this is a roll of the dice from Smoke Laval's perspective. If you're going to walk this guy, you're playing for the double play. You've got to get a ground ball right here, get yourself out of this inning. Otherwise, you're opening yourself up to a whole lot of runs, especially the way that this part of the order swung the bat the first time around.
Part of his reasoning, you figure, has got to be Detterman's pinpoint control.
Lefty on lefty. I mean, it's definitely the right move to make, but this is a freshman kid on the mound. He's got to be able to make a pitch right here. Bases loaded, you get behind in the count, you're either going to walk the guy or you're going to serve up a cookie, and that is big trouble.
Well, 2-0. We have already seen over 100 pitches. And we're one out in the bottom of inning 2. 2-0 pitch. Going to be back on the roof of the press box. South Carolina against Stanford on Friday managed a total of 4 base runners, being 2 hits and shut out 8-0. They already have 11 base runners.
And I think that is a credit to John Hudgens, the Stanford starter. He really had command not only of the baseball in the strike zone, but of his physical presence out there on the mound. He was under control the whole time during that ball game.
Maybe the biggest pitch of the inning right there. McDaniel trying to check, couldn't do it. It's 2-2.
What Ray Tanner is asking home plate umpire Kelly Nutt is ask for some help. I believe in this situation the home plate umpire has got to ask the third base umpire Frank Sylvester, what did you see? I mean, not every home plate umpire can be able to make that call.
Nutt never hesitating. And on the angle we showed you right there, he maybe could have used it.
I didn't think he swung. And I think that if you're a home plate umpire and you're in doubt at all, you should ask for help. It should never be a pride issue. It should be about getting the call right.
So McDaniel, after a chat with Tanner, back in, ready for the 2-2. With the bases loaded, a run in, and 1 out. And popped down the left side, off the railing, out of play.
And Trey McDaniel's first time to the plate got him a hit into right field, and as you can see, a little bit different approach with the left-hander. It looks like he's trying to stay inside the baseball and trying to drive it the other way. See, as he was putting on those batting gloves, he's got some tape underneath the batting gloves to try to keep his wrist as tight as he possibly can, so when he makes contact with the baseball, he feels like he gets a firm swing.
Another 2-2. Chop, flagged down by Gill. That is a big league double play. Wow. The intentional walk pays off exactly as they hoped. Because of Gill to Hill to Harris. routine about that at all. Harris gets a homer for the Gamecocks, and it's 7-3.
Oh.
What's the matter, Frank?
Why'd I eat that pizza?
You love pizza.
I knew I'd get heartburn.
Didn't you start taking that prescription?
Yeah, but it won't kick in fully till tomorrow.
You have heartburn tonight.
Oh.
The leading prescription can take up to a day or more to fully work. It's not for occasional heartburn. Zantac 75 works fast, right when you need it, even at night when heartburn can be at its worst. Zantac, fast heartburn relief for people who hate to wait.
Oh.
Snoring, Bob.
Word has it someone here's trying to make a collect call. Calm down, people. All you gotta do is dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you, free for them. What do you say we get up out here, no hit a disco? Or not.
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Hi, Tito. I hope you enjoy the empanadas and Coke. Love, Mom. Aw.
Hey, man. Something smells good.
Hi, Tito.
Hey, man.
Happy Father's Day. We move to the third, 7-3 lead for Carolina. Got to look at this again. 4-6-3 double play.
This is about as tough as it comes, especially for Gill having to make that throw. But that's why that kid right there is an All-American. Great turn, great arm to first base. That's how you get it done.
Ron Polk joins us, Mississippi State coaching legend. I'm sure your proudest achievement was recruiting Jeff Bradley.
No, not really. Not really. Not really, but I am proud of Jeff
In fact, it may be way down the list.
He's dressing a lot better than he did when he was in Mississippi State, I'll tell you that.
You were rather amused, it sounded like, to hear my partner giving bunting instructions. He claims he never missed a bunt.
He came to Mississippi State as a shortstop pitcher, and after about a week, I knew that there was no way this kid was going to hit. So we had to learn the bunt.
Ryan Patterson spanking that one up the middle.
They threw sliders in college.
Well, these two together in the mid-'80s, 1985. They made it here to Omaha. Boy, that's Jeff Bradley.
He didn't save them.
You made me cut my hair shorter than too.
I think he was first class in that uniform, I guess.
Coach, I asked him his memories. He says the first 3 innings of his first outing here a total blur. He doesn't remember anything.
I remember it vividly walking to the mountain.
I don't know that I've ever been as nervous as I was pitching in that first ball game here, especially when we started Gene Morgan against Oklahoma State, and I had to wait an extra day. That was some major anxiety.
It's a great place to be at this time of year.
Coach, that team is remembered by so many people because you had Jeff, you had Bobby Thigpen, you had Rafael Palmeiro, Will Clark, 4 future, not just major leaguers, 4 future star major leaguers. How did you put all of them together?
Well, it was a great ball club, and I think we had a chance to win this thing here. Gene Morgan took a line drag off his foot, and we have 2 games under our belt, and at that point in time, that team went downhill.
That was the ball game that we lost to Texas, and if I remember correctly, I think we were winning 5-1, 4-1 at the time. We ended up losing 12-7, but Morgan was freezing. He had just thrown a 2 or 3 hitter against the top offensive plug Oklahoma State in the opening ball game. Was really cruising in that ball game, but once we took him out, Katie barred the door. We were in trouble.
This ballpark played small then. It's played small now. You can look at this ball game we're looking at right now. 2 SEC schools, and I hate to see 2 SEC schools that lose this bracket game.
Well, a ripple through the Tiger portion of the stands now because 2 on for Clay Harris, who homered his first time up.
Coach Polk, how difficult is it from a coaching perspective to put this many young guys like Smoke Laval has had to do through injuries and some other problems at LSU to start 6 sophomores and a freshman out of the 9 guys that take the field.
Smoke Laval has done a tremendous job this year. He's had so many adverse things with Wally Bonner passing away and all the injuries, Jeff. And, you know, when we played him earlier, we won 2 out of 3 starts. Our team got better than him. So you got to give credit to Smoke and his coaching staff and the players to get their ball club here to win. We're happy for Ray Tanner's South Carolina team. We'd like to be here also, but I root for the Southeast as well.
Double for Bonner and now the 2-0 pitch. And right in at the knees. Take you back again to the great mid-'80s TV ad. Rafael Palmeiro has now gone past 500 home runs. Are you stunned by that? Did you see that at all in him when you had?
Well, Rafael and Will Clark were a home run hitting duel at our place with aluminum bats. I just didn't know how Ralph would do with a wooden bat in his hand. He started out with the Cubs, but I think that was one of the reasons why they traded for him. They just didn't think he was going to be able to loft fly balls and be a first baseman. They thought that was important, but he put on a little weight and he worked hard. And Ralph worked hard in the offseason and he became a home run hitter.
Did he always have that perfect stroke?
Well, one time they thought Will Clark had the prettiest stroke in the National League and Rafael in the American League, 2 different types of hitters. We can't take a lot of credit for that, but Rafael stayed healthy, Will Clark did not stay healthy, and I think that was what happened in regard to a long-time career Rafael has enjoyed.
Thunder and lightning. I remember that like it was yesterday on the cover of one of our programs.
And you were the raindrops. You were a raindrop.
All I know is Will would come through the dugout in the 6th inning and say, Bramley, this game's over. And then sure enough, he'd step to the plate and hit one somewhere where they couldn't catch it, and we'd end up winning a ball game.
He said it was over for 0 on the mound.
I don't know if it was about me. I think it was more about him.
Hey, this guy was the most competitive young pitcher I think I've ever had, and he got a lot out of his ability, and it showed when he went on to professional baseball.
LSU's pretty competitive themselves. They have the bases loaded. They have the tying run up after falling behind 6-0. It is nothing unusual at all to the SEC, well represented here. Just since 1990, 8 different teams have been here, combining for 6 national championships. You brought a Georgia team here a couple of years ago before returning to Mississippi.
Well, I really hate to leave the University of Georgia, but at the same time, it was a good move to come back home to Mississippi State. Glad I did still miss Athens, Georgia, and Vince Dooley and fine people over there. But thankfully, I'm still in the Southeastern Conference. We consider it one of the top baseball conferences in the country.
And it's been at the forefront of stadium construction because I guess, were one of the first programs to have the big ballpark that's now become more common, especially in the SEC, but in a lot of places.
Well, right now, all 12 of our conference schools have beautiful stadiums. Vanderbilt just built a real Cadillac up in Nashville, and now when we travel, everybody has a beautiful stadium. It's come a long way since I joined the conference in 1976.
Coach, now that baseball, especially in the Southeastern Conference, has basically become a revenue-producing sport, do you think that, and I know this was a big issue a time back, do you think that they will allow college baseball to increase their scholarship maximums now that they're making a heck of a lot more money than they were 10, 15 years ago?
Jeff, that's a great lead-in question. Let's follow the game here, and I'll comment here.
Down the line at left, Michael Campbell has it just in fair territory. He has 9 assists this year. This throw is cut off, and back at second in time as the run scores. Ryan Patterson is home, and it's 7-4.
Well, let me just make a comment. Baseball is the second largest producer of revenue from the NCAA right now, behind men's basketball, but we're dead last by far in scholarship. We got less than women's softball, women's lacrosse, and all the women's sports. And I'm all for women athletics, but baseball has been dealt a severe blow by the NCAA, and the way they distribute scholarships, and I blast them everywhere I go. It's a great organization, but they certainly have not cared for our sport.
So run in, 2 on, 1 out for Durang. Singleton scored in the second. Coach, with your knowledge of both these teams, that one gets by. Did it hit Durang? It did. And they're loaded again. With the knowledge of both these teams, you surprised at all at how this game has developed so far?
Well, I think South Carolina is here because of good pitching, and unfortunately so far it has not taken place. LSU also has good pitching, not as much depth, I think, on the staff. But, you know, anytime you get a second ball game, it's just an opportunity for the hitters to swing the bats. They're more familiar with the ballpark, and they're a little bit more comfortable in the environment. But this could be a very, very long, drawn-out ball game.
That's why you're up here. Look, you've got the rest of the afternoon free. Stephen Bondurant now has the rest of the afternoon free. He will give way to Aaron Rawl after his shortest outing of the season. A year ago, he had a complete game against Clemson in an elimination situation. He leaves here with a 7-4 lead, but only one out, the bases loaded.
Minutes, hours, days, who cares? Do things on your time.
Panasonic presents the next generation of DVD recorders. All your favorite programming, all your most precious memories, all recorded on a format that's both durable and shareable.
Networks may have schedules. I don't.
Enjoy features like chasing playback, which lets you play your program back from the beginning while recording to the end. Watch what you want, when you want.
Flexibility, rules.
Panasonic. Ideas for life.
What can a Tyrannosaurus Rex teach us about a retirement plan? What's big one day may disappear the next. At Wachovia Securities, we learn from the world around us and provide financial advice for those who need to rebuild. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. Wachovia Securities.
We're ready and dance, no matter when or where. We're ready and dance, whatever is waiting there around these parts. Trouble doesn't stand a chance. For the best part, people that's right. We're ready and dance.
Stop by Advance Auto Parts today, and you could win a tricked-out Ford Focus.
7-4. It was once 6-0 South Carolina after the first inning. Turned into a slugfest, and neither starting pitcher had lasted long at all. Pettit just 2/3. Bondurant, shortest outing, 2 1/3. Leaves the bases loaded, and 1 out for Aaron Rawl. And the sophomore from Lexington, South Carolina, who was the starter for Carolina in the championship game last year here against Texas, will have to be greeted by Quinn Stewart, who had the key blow of the second inning when the Tigers started their road back, a 2-run homer. Rawl has been here before, Coach, but nothing tougher than this. Bases loaded, your 6-0 lead's almost gone.
This is Ray Tannen's closer. That's how important this ball game is early in the stage for Ray Tannen in South Carolina. So they're going to go ahead and get their #1 guy.
Well, with the bases loaded here, this may be the save in the ball.
Well, we have the mentality sometimes that it's only in the 9th inning that you see your best reliever. And with what Quinn Stewart's already done here today, this may be the game's deciding inning.
Dave, this is the 9th inning right now for South Carolina. You know, LSU, is going to give up some more runs, but at the same time, you can't let 2 more runs score and feel comfortable about getting back into the bracket where you want to be and get back to another region.
Hey, guys, we've talked about the youth of this LSU team all day. Well, Quinn Stewart, we watched him when he came back into the dugout after that home run. He was all smiles, just looking at all of his teammates saying, I can't believe I hit a home run in the World Series, Dave.
Is that what it's about or what?
From a coaching perspective, how do you prepare young guys for this type of an environment? I know that in the SEC there are bigger crowds than in most ballparks, or most collegiate baseball ballparks, but how do you prepare a freshman or a sophomore or even a senior when they've never been to something like this?
Yeah, the SEC players are used to big crowds, as you mentioned, especially LSU and in Mississippi State. There's some great crowds there, but you never prepare for ESPN live broadcast, 26,000 people, college state. You just can't prepare.
Raw comes in and issues a bases loaded walk. The third RBI for Stewart. It's 7-5. Aaron Hill around the score. Nakarada.
I know that from Landon Powell's perspective, raising his hands after this call, looking into the dugout for Ray Tanner, and now Ray Tanner is talking to home plate umpire Kelly Nutt. The last thing that you want is to start questioning calls and blaming the inning on the umpires. This is about baseball. You guys, as a player, you've got to put that aside.
How do you judge, Ron, when to get into a conversation with an umpire?
We have a signal. I think everybody in professional ball and college, from the catcher to me and our pitching coach, if a call's been missed. I don't mind one. When it gets 2 or 3, we question the catcher or we question the umpire. But you're not allowed to challenge, and especially in the College World Series. But Ray wants to win this game, and you can't question his asking where that pitch was.
Well, I know when we were playing, Coach, you had a little sign worked out with the catcher that he would, if he thought it was a strike, he would do something, that he would touch something on his body to let you know that he thought that it was actually a strike, so you could have an idea about where the pitch was from the dugout perspective.
For many years, Jeff, we had grabbed the mask with his fingers and look at me. But the SEC umpires quickly determined what our signal was, so we've changed it, and I'm not going to let you know what the signal is now.
It's not on national TV.
No.
0-2 to Nakarada. And you can see why Carolina wanted that pitch. In most of the games, that has been called a strike, right at the knees. And pitches lower than that have been called strikes. There's no question it was over the plate.
Well, from the dugout, you can see north and south in the strike zone. You can't see east and west, because that's where you need to hit.
Anytime that you have a big ball game, especially an elimination ball game, when you get to crunch time, and this is crunch time, it's very difficult from both sides. It's difficult for Smoke Laval. It's difficult for Ray Tanner. This is if you lose, you go home. This is tough situation.
Short left field, Campbell. And no chance for Harris. Not going to challenge the throwing arm of Campbell, who just 1 assist off the Gamecock single-season record of 10.
Doesn't every coach want every call to go their way? Don't lie.
Yes, of course they do. And especially in the College World Series. It's so tough to get here, Jeff. You know, once you're here, you want to stay as long as you can, and stay as long as you can, and maybe play for the title game. But, you know, bless these kids' hearts. They're playing their heart out, and they all want to win, and they all want to stay here. And it's tough when you have to see these kids go home.
First pitch way wide to Matt Liuzza. He walked his first trip. Bases loaded, 2 out, 2 in. And 1 good swing away from a tie game after LSU had trailed 6-0. That was not it, however. Orang forced at third. But LSU chases the starter, Bondurant. They get 2 home in the third, and they get a 2-run game.
With new Odor Eaters Plus. Odor Eaters Plus is the only insole with podiatric arch support plus protection on demand against odor and wetness.
Looking for a better way to paint? One touch, and the Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller gives you professional results fast. Color your world fast with the Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller.
There are heavy rains heading towards Chicago. There are going to be flight delays.
Send out Orbit's Traveler Care Alerts. Destination Orbit's.
I'm contacting customers via email and cell phone, so they won't have to waste time waiting in the airport. Next, I'll contact their friends and family so they know about the delays, too.
Oh, no. My hospital missed her son's birthday party.
It's going to be okay, ma'am.
We'll have him home in time to light the candles. Another mission accomplished, Gare.
Time to get to work. It's Monday morning. If you haven't left your address.
Starbucks Double Shot Espresso drink is an invigorating blend of espresso and cream to help you take on your day.
Hey, I wasn't finished. Wouldn't it be easier to just buy your own paper?
Easier? Yes. Cheaper? No.
What?
For cheap and easy, dial 1010-220. No commitments, no monthly fees. Now that's easy.
We're just in the bottom of the third, and what was a 6-0 lead for Ray Tanner is down to 2. And we've enjoyed our talk and our visit with Ron Polk
Jeff Brantley's coach and back now at Mississippi State. We'll look for a continued run of success for a long time for you, Dave. It's been great having you up here.
Great being with you and great being with my boy. Take care of my boy.
Great to see you, Coach. Great to see you. He takes care of us, too. Ron Polk of the Bulldogs. Ray Tanner of the Gamecocks will have his 8-9 hitters to begin the third inning. Completely different game than it appeared it might be. But again, with the wind blowing out, no lead is safe, and here's what it looked like in their dugout between innings.
Powell was very upset about the walk to Stewart because I think he believed that pitch was a strike. Tanner thought it was a strike. Powell even raised his hands, but that makes it very difficult on a home plate umpire.
Campbell with the soft liner right to Aaron Hill to start the third for Carolina. Again, I can't remember that pitch not being called a strike any other time we've seen that pitch at that level over the plate in this College World Series.
But as a player, especially this early in the ball game, you can't be showing up the umpire. You let your coach or your pitching coach do that. Let the coach or the pitching coach get thrown out of the ball game. You've got to play. And when you start questioning calls, yes, that probably is a strike. But when you start questioning calls, you're starting to take matters into your own hands. And if you get thrown out of the ball game, it only hurts your teammates.
High pop-up may be playable for Patterson. Over for a look. Crashes hard into the railing. Here's thankfully to Ryan. Well padded.
That right there just shows you the passion of these college ball players. Full speed, taking off. He looked at the wall once and doesn't even look back. He's looking for that baseball. Sacrifice yourself for the better good of the team. Isn't that the way it's supposed to be?
It is here. When you look down at both dugouts and at all times, everybody's up on that top rib. Allison squaring and taking 1-1. Dugouts through all 9 innings look like a major league dugout might look in the bottom of the 9th tie game.
Exactly right. I mean, this is college baseball from the start of the game. I mean, everybody's on the top step pulling for their guy. You can talk rah-rah and cheerleading or whatever you want to call it, but you know what? If that helps you win a ball game, what does it matter?
Off the fist again, right to Hill. He guns it down for 2 quick outs in the third.
This kid, Aaron Hill, can flat play shortstop. He's a junior on this ball club, but he is the leader of this ball club. Not only emotionally, but the way that he goes after the ball game. You can see him come in. See that's 2 hands right there for all the kids that are watching. That's how you catch the baseball. If you put your glove down there and then you try to transfer into your hand, a lot of times you bobble that. He goes after it with 2 hands, nice and smooth, and makes the play.
Letterman has him swinging here in the third. He came in to finish the first by retiring Langus on a pop to short. Struggled through the second. Gave up a solo homer to Harris. Hit Busher. Gave up a single to Powell. A sacrifice, an intentional walk, and then saved on a spectacular 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Trey McDaniel. There's a limit for damage, just the 1 run. With the inside target, and Donovan nails it down on our first 1-2-3 inning for Tiger pitching.
Welcome back to Omaha and the College World Series. South Carolina leads LSU 7-5. I'm here with the parents of one of South Carolina's freshman sensations, Steve Tollison. Wayne Tollison had a pretty sensational career of your own. Most people may remember you with the Rangers, but Steve probably remembers most your career with the Yankees. Tell me a little bit about who he got to know when you played for the Yankees.
Well, as you well know, playing with the Yankees was very special, and having Steve come along and be able to remember some of the great things that happened in New York for us was quite special. He was very good friends with Ron Guidry, who had taken fishing on Sunday afternoon, and also got to know Don Mattingly and Dave Winfield and all the guys that he had seen on the baseball court.
Does he remember today his relationships with those players?
Sure he does. I mean, quite quite frankly, it comes up from time to time in our conversations. They're very fond memories for him.
He is a freshman. It's pretty unusual for a freshman to be doing as well as he is doing. How much do you think that his experience around the ball club, being in dugouts and clubhouses, has helped him be successful?
Well, hopefully it kind of takes the intimidation out of it. But, you know, there's a lot of good young athletes on the field, and we feel very fortunate that Steve has been given an opportunity as a freshman, and he's cashed in on it.
All right, Wayne and Kim, thank you so much. Good luck. Dave, back to you.
Steve played in a father-son game with Wayne when Steve was 5 at Yankee Stadium. Dominated. Came off the field, and Ron Guidry came up to him and said, "You must be the best player here today." Steve said, "No, Dave Winfield's better."
Well, it takes a special kind of kid to step into a major college uniform as a freshman and be a starter. And this kid has been able to do that without any intimidation. He's been a very productive offensive player as well as defensive player for the South Carolina Gamecocks.
3-2. Tiger leadoff hitter in the fourth, J.C. Holt. 0 for 2, the strikeout and the ground out. Ground ball past the diving Justin Harris. And the leadoff man aboard for LSU in the fourth. He could again bring the potential tying run to the plate. So Steve Collison and Louisiana Lightning, Ryan Guidry.
How about that guy? Talking about throwing some smoke. That left-hander?
5'8", 170 or so. Ryan Patterson was singled his first 2 trips. First pitch hit well. Langus can't get to it. It's gone out off the wall and dead center field. Holt with terrific speed. And the throw on the first base side. And he scores standing up to make it a 1-run game. Not much question Holt would make it Hall. Probably the fastest player ever coached by Smoke Laval.
Fastball up in the zone, but as you see Patterson get through this baseball, a lot of tough hits. In order to drive the ball that's up in the zone, you've got to get your top hand through the baseball. And Patterson does it. Anytime you hit a ball over a center fielder's head, you crushed it.
An RBI double, the 51st run driven in by Ryan Patterson. Now, Aaron Hill. And the superstar bunts. And moves Patterson to third. There's some college balls we would not normally see at the levels above here. Hill giving himself up. Bracket put this way. Loser goes home today. Winners meet tonight. Stanford, Cal State, Fullerton, 7 Eastern, ESPN2. Miami and Southwest Missouri State will play an elimination game here tomorrow at 2 Eastern on ESPN2. And the winners, former Southwest Conference rivals, will meet tomorrow night at 7 Eastern, Rice and Texas. Played a classic 2-1 game here last year. Texas winning. Played a 2-1 game in the regular season this year.
That bunt by Aaron Hill shows you the unselfish nature of that young man. No outs. His team is 1 run down. He knows if he can get the score tied, it gives LSU new life. All he does is bunt Ryan Patterson over to third base.
Base hit. Clay Harris has sent Patterson home with the tying run.
That's why you bunt right there. All you've got to do is get a single to any part of the ballpark, and you get that runner in from third base. A fly ball does the same thing.
Wally Connor's spirit definitely is present for LSU. A star infielder who died in his sleep at age 21 from an undiscovered heart ailment. And has been with them high atop their memories all season long. Blake Gill now. Driving one to the gap in left center field. Who had a sac fly last time. Keeps the inning going here. Will take second on the throw.
Blake Gill very aggressive right there, watching the center fielder
Kulangas going after this ball, knowing that he's left-handed, having to straighten himself up. Very difficult to go towards the third baseline and right himself to make a perfect throw back into second. Blake Gill is watching the throw. It's in front of him the whole time. Never slows up, and that's why he's able to take second base.
Single taking second on the throw. Second and third, one out. John Zarang can give LSU the lead. 3 innings after they trailed 6-0. Go ahead, Alex.
Dave and Jeff, I just wanted to mention to you that Smoke Lavelle wasn't sure how to handle the emotional situation with the loss of Wally Pontiff, so he called St. Louis and asked how that club dealt with Darryl Kyle's death, and then he also called Ole Miss to find out how the school handled the loss of Chucky Mullins. He said that everyone that he spoke to told him the same thing. They said, don't ignore it for one day, and that's exactly what he did. Wally Pontiff is constantly talked about and remembered by his teammates, of course, his name and number on their hats, and remembered in so many other ways, Dave.
Chopper overall. A run is called and no play for him. LSU has caught and passed Carolina.
This is one of those plays as a pitcher. You have to have reaction, and you have to be about 6'5" to be able to catch that ball right there. Just in a place where nobody on the infield can make the play. That's one of those plays you just absolutely feel helpless on the shortstop and as a pitcher because nobody can get to the baseball.
And remember, this is the closer on the mound for the Gamecocks. Aaron Rawl getting lit up. 3 runs on 5 hits. Our shortstop contributing a sacrifice bunt to this 4th inning.
And this is a very unfamiliar position for Aaron Rawl. I don't know that any time this season that he's been in a ball game this early. This young man is used to coming in the ball game maybe for a couple of innings, 2 or 3 outs in the 9th inning to close out a ball game and get a save. But as we talked about earlier, when LSU had the bases loaded there in the 3rd inning, they had to get some outs and get some outs quick. And now Rawl is in the ball game. And talking to Ray Tanner before the game, he said, hey, we're going to do whatever we have to do to try to win this game, because if we lose, we're going home.
Well, Rawl had a stretch of 4 batters who doubled on the first pitch, sacrificed on the first pitch, singled on the second pitch, singled on the first pitch. And Zarang on the 2-1 pitch gets the RBI infield single. Now Stewart ahead in the count 2-0. With a 2-run homer and an RBI on a bases-loaded walk all ready for his afternoon.
But I can assure you, regardless of how this inning plays out, we're only in the 4th inning. This game is going to change leads, I'm sure, quite a few times. And don't think that South Carolina is just going to lay down and take it.
Pop will come back out of play, 2-1. No, we've had 1 lead change. It could be the first of a half dozen. 6-0 after 1, 3 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 3 already in here in the 4th for the Tigers.
It just shows you, watching this ball game, the difference in each one of these universities that are here in the College World Series, the value of pitching. And when you have to run through a pitching staff as fast as both of these clubs are doing, you're going to give up a lot of runs.
Carolina's pitching was superb in getting here. The team ERA of 2 in the regionals and the super regionals. 38 strikeouts and just 13 walks. Friday against Stanford, 8 runs on 12 hits, 7 walks, 5 strikeouts, and much more in that vein so far today from Bondurant and Rawl. The pitching has let them down, helped them get here. Not looking like they're going to help them stay here at this point.
And even though the South Carolina ball club had a 6-run lead after the 1st inning, and now they've given everything back plus I don't think they're going to be about to quit.
Maybe a play here. Kulangas will not have a play. They carried it up to get Gill home, and they get 9-7. Stewart has his 4th run batted in just 4 innings. What a change. 3 through 6. 7 for 9 today now for LSU. 3 for 4 for Carolina.
And both of these ball clubs, we talked about it when we started this game. Those are the guys that they're going to expect the most from. The middle of the order, not only from the LSU side, which they have absolutely come through today, especially Clay Harris, but also from the South Carolina side. They've got to be able to put some runs on the board, especially now that they've given 9 back.
And Jerry Myers is out to make another pitching change as Matt Campbell will come on to replace Rawls. 9-7 Tigers. Still not done on the 4th.
Have you heard about the neighborhood where you can get local and long distance together for one low monthly price, where your calling is unlimited around town and across the country, where voicemail and caller ID are included at no extra charge? The neighborhood, built by MCI, where you can talk as long as you want, as often as you want, for one low monthly price.
Call 1-800-JOIN-MCI today and get unlimited local and long distance together.
Starting today, muscle pain is no reason for not taking off, not touching down, not raging, not ice dancing, not going vertical, not hitting the wall, not hacking, not taking the gloves off, not getting dirty. Introducing new Tylenol 8-Hour with 2 layers, one that's fast and one that lasts. All day, 1 dose. New Tylenol 8-Hour. It's the Tylenol for muscle pain, because not playing is not an option.
Motorcycle financing can have a funny way of changing on you when you don't expect it. So keep your eyes open and get a straight deal that doesn't change with financing that's as solid as a Honda. 0 down payment, 0 payments for the first 3 months, and lock in a low 6.9% fixed APR for up to 5 years on any new Honda motorcycle, scooter, personal watercraft, or ATV. Monthly payments that don't change. That's a straight deal. And right now, get up to $300 in bonus bucks on select models at your local Honda dealer today.
Welcome to the Home World Series!
Welcome to Omaha.
Well, music that would make anybody from Baton Rouge feel right at home.
That's Nolan side.
9-7 after trailing 6-0. Matt Campbell, the 3rd pitcher of the day from Carolina, sophomore from Simpsonville, South Carolina. Had some experience here last year as a freshman, a career-high 5 1/3 innings against Clemson, a 12-4 win. 8 strikeouts, a career best in that game. Off the fist and right to Harris. And finally, the 4-run 4th is over for LSU. But from 2 down to 2 up. Ball is chased after an inning in the 3rd, giving up 5 hits, a walk, and 4 runs. So, look for more of the same here. This is wind blowing out baseball in Omaha. Another all-access look now, and we mentioned the Wally Potts situation, losing him at such a young age, and an all-access look now at the Tigers and the Wally Potts story.
Wally was LSU baseball good too. You know, he great play, represented the school very well. That was the kind of guy he was. You know, he didn't want to settle for anything that's below his standards. You know, he wanted to get to where he wanted to be.
I never appointed the captain. I just thought the team would eventually, hopefully, rally around somebody. Without a doubt, it was Wally.
Wally was the backbone of our program last year. He was our leader. And you lose someone like that, you know, we kind of still look to him a little bit. You know, he's still up there with us.
I felt like Wally's been with us all season long.
I was pitching tonight, and we were up 6-5, and had 1 out, and and the guy from Baylor hit a ball. You know, and off the bat, everybody in the stands knew it was gone. And I looked up at it, you know, and I'm just like, come on, Wally.
It had to be Wally that kept it there.
And I'll be darned if he didn't blow that ball back in the park.
There was a spirit, there was a presence
that kept that baseball in the park.
We went on to win that game.
And LSU has forced a third game.
That was our last at bat. And the crowd started chanting his name, you know, Wally, Wally.
First time I really heard something, you know, when you're focused in, and you go, what are they doing? What's happening here? And then you gear in and you hear it. Goosebumps. I got them now.
And the LSU Tigers are going to Omaha.
And I tell you what, I had chills from my head to my toes. And it was an awesome feeling.
You would think Wally's presence is just at Alex Box Stadium in Baton Rouge, but really, Wally's presence is with us all the time. Wally is the guy, the spirit, the feeling, the presence that always hovers over our baseball team.
And clearly, he's still around.
Well, in their minds, yes, he is. That presence, and I think that just goes to show you what he means to all of these young men.
Justin Harris, one pitch, bounces out to give. And there's no other word than shock anytime someone so young, 21, dies in his sleep. No one had any reason to expect what eventually was determined to have killed him, a heart ailment. But the only way that you can recover, as they determined by checking with the Cardinals, with Ole Miss, who had similar tragedies in their programs, is don't try to push it aside. Don't go into denial. Make sure that every day mention is made of who you've lost.
Well, everybody has a certain way to mourn, and then it's different for each player.
Busher like Harris. 4-3. 2 quick outs in the fourth. Letterman couldn't have worded up any better.
But I will say this for this LSU ball club: they have handled adversity in the finest of fashion. And for a ball club that was never expected to be here this year, they have overcome a lot of adversity, and they're here and they're playing well.
They're in charge right now. Strike one to Landon Powell. Detterman, after a 1-2-3 third, 4 pitches. Already 2 outs and ahead of Powell. Single twice, 4 runs, and driven in a run today. Gamecocks got to him for a run in the second, and it was Harris with the leadoff home run that inning. A little rocky after that. He hit Busher, gave up a single to Powell, walked Triplett, bailed out by the bases-loaded double play ball. And he sailed ever since then. That double play ball may turn into the key play of the day, even though it was early.
It's amazing what kind of confidence that you can gain as a pitcher when your offense starts to seem just absolutely relentless. All you feel like as a pitcher is, I've just got to go out there and just get the ball over the plate and throw some strikes and try to get us back in here and let us hit some more. Every once in a while you'll see that. I've seen that in a couple of ball games now from LSU, where their catcher will really set up off the plate away, trying to get these big right-handers to fish for a fastball off the plate.
Another 1-2-3 inning. Detterman with his second strikeout. The last 7 Gamecocks have been retired. None have hit the ball out of the infield. While he's still around, and LSU still leads by 2.
When you can get the best of wireless without a contract, that's M Life. Go phone, only from AT&T Wireless. The new Impala SR. With one max supercharged engine. When you need the power, or not, we'll be there. Chevy.
Steal down the middle. 101. Did you see what I see? Because I saw a robbery. Anybody want to coach? Yeah.
Hey, you crazy, man? That's Corinthian leather. And use the footstool if you feel refrigerated. I'm running all over y'all like a treadmill. I am the greatest. I'm the greatest. Yeah, stop it. It's bad house. I'm telling you. I'm just super nice in it, you know? That's all. When you nice, right? That's all that talk.
It was 6-0 Carolina after one, but in the second inning, the rally started after both Pettit, the starter, had been chased. This was that inning when Stewart's 2-run home run made it 6-3. The defensive moment of the day, the fourth 6-3 double play when Carolina was still in control. That got him out of the bases-loaded one-out jam. Clay Harris, who homered, also had this RBI single in the fourth when the Tigers, with a 4 spot, spirit of Wally Martin's crowd is taking a 9-7 lead as we arrive at the top of the 5th inning. So the comeback bats have been key. I don't know if they've been any more important than what Detterman has done out of the bullpen and finally getting control of the Carolina offense.
Well, Detterman has settled down throwing strikes, but that double play, that was tremendous. Blake Gill had to go a long way towards the first baseline to get that ball, number one, then to be able to spin and make an off-balance throw to Aaron Hill, and then to throw the ball to first base with that kind of velocity. That's a big league play.
Matt Liuzza, the number 9 hitter. Getting to play as a true freshman earlier than expected because of an injury to Dustin Weaver. Remarkable how this LSU program has made it this far despite injuries to 10 players, totaling 517 lost player games because of those injuries. They were young to begin with, only 3 seniors, and that series of injuries. And as Smoke Laval said, the only way we're here is to have people mature a year earlier than I ever would have expected. Certainly a part of that. That's down the line at Judge Fair. And Liuzza checking in with a stand-up leadoff double in the 5th. Great matchup tonight from Safeco Field, part of Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Nextel, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Ichiro and the Mariners and Gilmes to the mound against Greg Maddux and the Atlanta Braves. No better way to wrap up phase 1 of interleague play. Maddux 5-5. That has been much more impressive. I think 8-3 as he goes into that.
They might face each other on down the line.
J.C. Holt laying down the bunt, and Campbell just barely getting the speedy Holt. Licklet had to take a dive to make sure Campbell had the alley to get the throw in the little coverage.
We talked about being able to handle the bat and get the bunt down. You've got no outs. All you've got to do is get this bunt down. You bunt it towards the third baseline. Pitcher ends up making the play. And look at that first baseman right there laying down on the ground, just making sure he gets out of the way.
Great stop by Powell. Ryan Patterson, a single and an RBI double, has scored twice. Big key for LSU, getting the leadoff man on, as they have done again here in the 5th. They failed to do it only once, and that was in the first. Other than that, leadoff man on in the last 4 innings. 3 have scored. And they have Liuzza at third with 1 out.
All Patterson's trying to do right here is get the ball into the air, into the outfield.
1-2.
And as a pitcher, Dave, especially when you see a guy swing at the ball that bad the first time on that kind of breaking ball, I believe I've got to see if he'll do it again, and he did. We might see another one of those breaking balls right here.
There's 2 ways you can go with that. Either keep throwing it till he proves he can hit it, or eventually he will prove it, so let's give him something different.
That pitch was a little bit different right there. He left it up just a little bit, enough to where Patterson could make contact with it. The first 2 pitches that he swung at were breaking balls that were down that bounced right in front of the plate. If you're going to strike him out, it's got to be in front of the plate, but you take the risk of it getting past the catcher with a runner on third. And that's the dangers of throwing consecutive pitches that are the same type of pitch, especially if it's a breaking ball, because after the first two, the third one you try to make it a little bit better, and the fourth one you try to make it better than the first three, and then you end up hanging it like that pitch was in the middle of the strike zone. Got away with one right there.
Another 1-2, soft chopper. No chance for Laius to move up. 2 gone. Campbell's had some spectacular moments this year. Carried a no-hitter into the 8th inning against Duquesne. 8 innings, 1 hit shutout ball, and a 9-0 win. He was National Player of the Week in mid-May with a 13 strikeout performance against Georgia. His career high and the best by any Gamecock pitcher this year. And he's retired 3 of the 4 Tiger batters he's faced. Could get out of it here. With the attack, still getting low. Orange Hill beats it out, and it costs him another run. Error on Harris.
They moved Harris over into the shortstop third base hole specifically to get this baseball. If he just takes his eye off it just for a second. And he didn't bobble that ball much. That's more of a credit to Aaron Hill hustling down the first baseline than it is the fact that Harris missed the ball.
He didn't bobble it by much, and he didn't miss getting it by much.
That's part of the hustle of Aaron Hill, straight out of the box, running all the way, not assuming that the shortstop Justin Harris would make the play.
Carolina defense led the nation last year, and they weren't much beyond that pace this year. Just 3 percentage points below 2002's number. Hustle by Aaron Hill making that run possible.
Swing and put his head down. See that right out of the batter's box. That's the way you're supposed to do it. You don't look at where the ball's going. You swing and you take off running to first base as hard as you can. That's why he's safe.
And we hear that in Little League, and it's one of the frustrations of watching so many major leaguers who never do that. And they've been able to get away with that as the years have gone.
Well, I think that at this level, it's about leadership, it's about coaching, it's about teaching, and Aaron Hill is the leader on this ball club. If he doesn't do it, you can't expect anyone else to do it. He takes this leadership role very seriously. That's why he's the first rounder. You have tools, you can play, you can hit, you can catch the ball, you can throw, but makeup is a key ingredient. You can't teach a guy to have intestinal fortitude. You come with the fact.
Well, another chance for Harris, and this time he cuts down Hill at second. But since he didn't get him at first, Liuza scores, and the LSU lead is now 3 in the middle of the fifth.
I have to focus. Gather everything I've learned, all my successes, all my sacrifices, all my pain, and concentrate that energy into one moment. That's the moment I'll use every single day of my life. There are 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Baltimore Motor Sales, your Ford and Mercury dealer, wants to make your next purchase an easy and enjoyable experience. We won't pressure you, and we'll help you get the exact car, truck, or sport utility that you want. What's more, we are so confident that we can save you money that if we don't beat the best written deal you've got on a new Ford or Mercury, we will hand you a check for $100. That's right, you get $100 if we can't beat your best written deal on a new Ford or Mercury. Come by our new facility just off I-95 in Walsall. You'll be glad you did.
Snack time at Rosenblatt. It's always snack time here. It's 10-7 LSU. We move to the bottom of the fifth. Bringing this one to you again on ESPN's HD presented by Phillips and Best Buy. That's what it looks like in the press lounge here. They have the crystal clear high-definition picture as the Brantley family enjoys in your kitchen, your master bathroom. Where else do you have it? Garage, car,
wherever I can get it. It's amazing how much clearer that picture is. It's pretty awesome.
It's startling. First time I ever saw it. Right back to Detterman. One pitch. And Melillo is retired. First time I ever saw it was a corner-to-corner view of a baseball field, and you could literally pick out the individual pebbles of dirt in the infield.
It almost looks like you're there. That's what I imagine. Because most of the time when you see things on television, you've got some grain in the picture, and there's certain things that you know that you can't see. But on this high definition stuff, it's like being at the ballpark.
Detterman continues to be extremely efficient. Strike one to Triplett. And with all that the Tiger bats have done, I'm sure that Detterman at this point isn't the most valuable player they've had. Oh, says Al Davis. Last 10 batters, he is not allowed to get a ball out of the infield. And it all kicked into gear for him on that double play in the second.
Throwing strikes, keeps the ball down, and Dave's really been able to throw 2 pitches for a strike. If you can do that and you pitch down in the zone, especially with the quality stuff this young man's showing, you're going to have some success.
This game was just crying out for any pitcher to come out and bring up some outs, and it turns out to be Jason Detterman. Although 3-1 behind Triplett here.
Just another freshman. How about that?
Not looking like just another freshman.
No substitute for Omaha experience, especially in your first year in college.
Well, the string of outs will end here. 1, 2, 3, the third and the fourth, and gets Melillo on the first pitch here in the fifth. Who walks Triplett, who's been aboard all 3 times now. He intentionally walked last time. RBI single scored in the first. And now Trey McDaniel, freshman, with an RBI single, and then the trigger element to that 4-6-3 double play with the bases loaded to end the second.
I think he just wants to see Gill and Hill turn another double play.
See you try that twice. Major league caliber, and really kicked the Tiger comeback off. And things look dire. Right off the fifth, and it's 0-2.
That swing right there is why Ray Tanner has McDaniel in the ball game. Swing hard, finish high, just in case you hit it.
Never know what to watch him, but Detterman, this time a year ago, coming off Tommy John surgery. He's throwing harder since the operation.
And a lot of times that happens. Get that ligament fixed and start throwing some smoke. And I'm sure that they do want that call, but that ball to me is a little bit down in the strike zone. You're not going to hear me say that. I want them all. I want them all.
Well, it was actually a ball. That hits McDaniel, and Detterman develops a chink in the armor now. The walk, the hit batsman.
Anytime that you throw a pitch that you think is a strike, you've got to back off the mound, gather yourself, and then make another quality pitch. You can't let the umpire get to you, and that's what Detterman does in this instance. He thinks he's got a strikeout, loses his concentration, maybe gets a little bit upset, tries to rear back and blow one, and blows it right into his jersey.
Michael Campbell now, an RBI double, and a liner to short. And Carolina gets the potential tying run to the plate with 1 out in the fifth.
That's another pitch that's a borderline pitch down in the strike zone. But the last thing you need to do as a freshman, especially Detterman on the hill with a 3-run lead, is start trading barbs with the home plate umpire, Kelly Nutt. Get the ball and throw it.
And it's already proven to be an unproductive plan of attack for South Carolina.
Well, I think that was part of South Carolina's problem. Landon Powell and Ray Tanner both were getting upset. I'm fine with the coach getting upset. If he believes it's a strike, let him go out there and argue. But if you're a player, you just got to play the game.
Letterman just not used to anything other than near perfect control. Only 7 walks all year, coming in 3 in 47 2/3 innings before today, and he's walked 2 today, although 1 was intentional. Both walks have been issued to Brian Triplett. He's at second. He hit McDaniel, who's at first. Now ahead of Campbell. And hoping to get yet another ground ball. First, he'll check Triplett back to second. Michael Campbell may very well be a pitcher in his future at Columbia. He was 10-0 on the mound at high school. Plans to pitch in the summer league.
Well, it looks like Detterman is struggling a little bit. We may see another LSU pitcher before too long. The last thing that Smoke Laval wants to do is let Carolina emotionally back into this ball game.
And they're 1 swing away from being right there. Campbell in the regular season series, 3 games against the Tigers, only 2 for 12, but one of the hits was a homer, and he had the most RBIs in the Gamecocks, 3. It's an RBI today.
Detterman needs to just go back to what he was doing in the couple innings before, make pitches, keeping them down in the strike zone.
Sneaking in behind at second is Hill. Triplett again back. Watch this from Hat Can atop Randy Brunn. You know, the quality of Hat Cam gets better every year. Just like HD. 2-2 up the middle and hanging up for Holt. And a big second out. Now up to Steve Tolleson. Randy Brunson's turn to don the camera. I think they always know they have it on. It's probably so light they could easily forget that they have it. So far we haven't seen a nose-to-nose discussion from Hat Cam today. I like those. With an irate coach. We may yet. Here's Tolleson, a 2-run single. Biggest blow in Carolina's 6-run first. I mean, ages ago. Well, it was about 2 hours ago. Now another chance to deliver.
Detterman seems to have gathered his composure, made some good pitches to Michael Campbell, and now jumps ahead in the count to the freshman Steve Tolleson. Last thing that you want to do, especially pitching in this ballpark, is give guys free passes. You got a 3-run lead, make them earn it.
0-2. And now Detterman a pitch away from getting out of this game. Self-induced though it is. The other time he faced Tolleson, he got him to ground to short. Always aware of the huge Tiger following here. They're letting themselves be heard now. A program that year after year leads the nation in attendance. And they're right near the top year after year at football attendance. Nothing to get 7,000 or 8,000 at Alex Box Stadium in Baton Rouge.
Every time the LSU pitchers seem to get 0-2. Their catchers are really moving way outside. I'm not sure what the purpose of that outside pitch is, but they really get out there.
Almost pitch out wide. Almost that far.
Yeah, it's almost, and you can see where the catcher's sitting up. I mean, he's way out. I mean, look where his gloves are. I mean, that's a long way from where the plate is. Now, normally you would see the catcher set up that far on the inside part of the plate so that he can go away. But this is probably the 5th or 6th time that I've seen Liuzza go that far outside of the zone away from these right-handed hitters. You're not accomplishing anything by throwing the ball that far outside.
Collison down swinging. 3rd strikeout for Detterman, and he gets out of the jam here in the 5th. Carolina had a real shot at getting back in it. They can't cash in, and they still trail 10-7.
There was one envelope I really hated to open every month. My wireless bill. Bad news either way. I mean, if I talked too much, I got slammed with overages. And if I talked too little, I wasted all those minutes I paid for. But those days are over. Thanks to Rollover. Only Singular lets you roll over unused anytime minutes so you avoid paying overages months you talk more. They're your minutes. Keep them. Singular has rollover on national plans and your choice of cool phones. I call it my look at that cute little bill plan. Come in to find out how Singular fits you best.
With new Odor Eaters Plus. Odor Eaters Plus is the only insole with podiatric arch support plus protection on demand against odor and wetness.
Time to get to work. It's Monday morning. If you haven't left
Starbucks Double Shot Espresso drink is an invigorating blend of espresso and cream to help you take on your day.
What can a pitching machine teach us about financial advisors? Working with one can leave you better prepared. At Wachovia Securities, we learn from the world around us and provide financial advice for whatever comes your way. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. Wachovia Securities.
I gotta have something in my head. I mean, not like blow me out. It's like, come on.
Oh, and doing the barbecue.
Bus leads Omaha in 45. Who's going to be on that bus? Still to be determined. Carolina's blown a 6-0 lead. Quinn Stewart's had a huge day. Jason Detterman has settled things down on the mound. And Matt Campbell has come close to that for Carolina. Gave up an unearned run in the 5th. Gamecocks 5 of 7 run in scoring position. Lay Gill chopping to Justin Harris. Just a couple of pitches to get the leadoff hitter, something that Carolina has done only in one previous inning today, and it has always come back to bite them when they didn't.
The key word in this ball game is right there. Elimination. If you don't win today, pack the bag, we're going to the house.
When you played in that situation, when your teammates played in that situation, did it give you positive adrenaline, or was it something that made you tighten up?
I think it was positive adrenaline. I think it made us really come out, and there's really no tomorrow at this point. If you make a mistake, you just have to live with it. So you just go out there and just lay it all on the line. I thought we actually played better when we had our backs to the wall. It just, sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Gamecocks did it 4 times last year. Got out in the first. With a rare team to come out of the loser's bracket and reach the championship game. No one has won it after losing their first game since Southern California in '98. These teams are trying to accomplish this year. Slow roller, tough chance. Harrison off balance throw, and he gets the ring.
Last year, all College World. World Series tournament team, Justin Harris at center field, 2 out of 3 home runs. He hit 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 3 This doesn't look like a center fielder making this throw. This looks like a Derek Jeter. That's a great play.
Just an inning after his error when he bobbled the ball by Hill that allowed Liuzza to score. He's come back and handled the last three. The fielder's choice to end the fifth, and both ground balls by Hill and Zarang here in the sixth. And now Quinn Stewart, who has driven in 4 of the runs for LSU with a 2-run homer, an RBI, bases loaded walk, and a sacrifice fly. This one will go to third. Busher. The first 1-2-3 inning turned in by South Carolina pitcher since the first inning. 8 pitches, in fact, to get through the sixth.
The new Impala SF. With one nasty supercharged engine. When you need the power, or not, we'll be there. Chevy.
How'd you know I don't need that card? I've been looking at your hands. Well, that's smart. No, that's cheating. Using 10-10-220. Now that's smart.
No fees, no commitments. Dial 10-10-220. The smart way to make inexpensive phone calls.
Lousy card. Minutes, hours, days. Who cares? Do things on your time.
Panasonic presents the next generation of DVD recorders. All your favorite programming, all your most precious memories, all recorded on a format that's both durable and shareable.
Networks may have schedules. I don't.
Enjoy features like chasing playback, which lets you play your program back from the beginning while recording to the end. Watch what you want, when you want.
Flexibility rules.
Panasonic. Ideas for life.
Ask your doctor if Celebrex is right for you, or call 1-888-CELEBREX.
Jason Detterman wavered a little bit in the fifth inning. He's gone 4 1/3 innings of relief. His longest relief outing this year was 5 2/3 against Auburn. As a starter, he's gone as long as 8 innings against New Orleans, 7 1/3 against Arkansas. So we'll see how he looks here against the top of the order for the Gamecocks in the 6th inning.
This is a prime time for the South Carolina Gamecocks to get on the board. Leadoff hitters starting this inning for them. 3 up, 3 down. They were hustling off the field. Wouldn't surprise me if Kudlangas gets on, that Justin Harris doesn't put down another sacrifice bunt to try to get something started offensively and emotionally for this Gamecock ball club.
Back out of play, 0-2. Ray Tanner has stacked 3 seniors at the top of his order. We'll see them all here in the 6th. Langus, Harris, and Busher. And counting on their experience to come through here. Against freshman Jason Detterman. Again, the wide outside target at 0-2.
I see no purpose behind that pitch other than maybe Smoke said, all right, you guys do not give up an 0-2 hit, so you throw this thing about 3 feet outside. That doesn't do anything for a hitter. I mean, to see a ball that's way off the plate, you're at your most vulnerable position at 0-2 as a hitter. You need to make something a little closer to the plate than that. Throw that pitch 0-2.
At least you get to peel on that one. Frank Sylvester says he didn't go.
I mean, that'd be the equivalent of standing up and holding your glove out and say, all right, well, just throw me one outside. Let's go ahead and get it 1-2 and start over. I don't like it.
Way in tight, now 3-2. Leadoff walk and really set up the inning for the Gamecocks. The way it happened in the first. Langus walked on the 3-2, scored the first of 6 runs. That one probably under the strike zone, and he just gets a piece.
The purpose of an 0-2 pitch is to set up a swing at 1-2, not just to not give up a hit. That's defensive pitching, and I think that's not good.
Right there with you. put a pitch out.
It's almost as far as, it's actually probably further than that. That ball is a good 2.5, 3 feet. I mean, the Lions are sitting up almost in the other batter's box.
Up chance out right center, and Ferrari runs it down. The Spurs go after the championship tonight. Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Tim Duncan in San Antonio up 3 games to 2. Can the Nets survive and force Game 7? 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific from the SBC Center tonight. Spurs have been much less impressive at home than on the road all through the postseason. But you have to think, with everything riding on that one tonight, David Robinson home, chance to win a championship, to finish his career in San Antonio. They can't let this chance go. But they may. You can't count on anything the way that series is going. Justin Harris right through the hole. He has his second hit. Done a little of everything today. A sacrifice bunt, a home run, which is still their last run. His homer leading off the second. Ground out, now base hit. After the 7-for-9 start, Letterman really shut him down until now.
Letterman has got to continue to pitch, continue to attack the strike zone. And Busher, on the other hand, we talked about him being key to their offense. Doesn't have a hit today. Big situation for him.
It's a big cut. Sends it to the gap in left center. Patterson and Holt. It's Patterson on the track. Just not quite enough, even though that's the way the wind is blowing today.
He stayed inside of this baseball much better than he did the first couple of times up, and drives the ball the other way. It amazes me because of the sun that we've had here, especially these day games, that you don't see any of these outfielders with glasses on. Earlier in the ball game, I saw some glasses that were upside down on a couple of the outfielders' heads. Well, that's not really how you're supposed to wear your glasses in the ball game.
Well, on Friday, Busher at third didn't have glasses and lost the foul pop in the sun. And I wondered then, why would you not wear glasses? Whether it's cool or not, what's less cool than not getting to a ball?
Well, if you're going to have glasses on the top of your helmet or on the top of your hat, they should at least be glasses that can help you catch the baseball. In the big leagues, they use glasses up underneath their hat. They're flip down.
He's covered both ways.
Because if you're gonna be able to use a glass to help you shield the ball, you've got to be able to flip it down.
Powell with the fielder's choice ground ball. They end the 6th inning. And Deverman has allowed only the 1 hit since the second. Keeps LSU on top by 3.
Game 5 featured a duel between Jason Kidd and Tim Duncan. The Duncan and the Spurs prevailed and are 1 win away from the championship. Can the Nets bounce back in Game 6? The NBA Finals tonight on ABC and SportsCenter after the game. We got who?
You think you're ready to ride with me? See what I see? Hear what I hear?
They're getting all bunched up. Clear, clear. Let's rock and roll.
NASCAR in-car gets you in the car from flag to flag with 7 NASCAR Winston Cup Series drivers. And it's only on digital cable.
Just one thing. No backseat driving.
Order the NASCAR in-car package today. Call now.
Get the best bottom line price on Pontiac Buick and on GMC trucks.
Only at McElveen Pontiac Buick GMC in Somerville.
250 new vehicles.
Close to you.
And now with 0% finance.
And maximum rebate.
Everybody knows McElveen guarantees the best bottom line price, even with those other dealers' ridiculous ads.
Young and first-time buyers class.
Maximum satisfaction.
We couldn't believe how much truck we got for the money we paid for it.
The Low Country's #1 McElveen Pontiac Buick GMC.
I-26 and 17A.
Moving into the 7th now, LSU 10-7. Let's give you a real demonstration now what we're talking about. The best set of shades I guess you could have out there is the kind that you can get to the quickest.
Right. Well, what you're supposed to do is you take this strap, put it over the back of your hat, and you pull them down underneath your bill. Fly ball, you flip it down, you catch it, then you flip it back up. And this sits up underneath your hat, up underneath the bill of your hat. You never even know that they're there. But right now, they've got them sitting like this. What good does that do? That's not going to help anybody. Come on.
And when I asked you Friday why Busher wouldn't have any shades out there, your answer was it's not cool. Nothing was cooler than to watch a guy flip down the shades in the outfield. You can do it with some panache and elan and then really have some style about it.
But we were talking about this earlier when we were talking about basketball. Everything today in sports is about styling. You not only gotta play good, you gotta look good.
Well, what looks better than winning?
What looks better than catching the ball? Exactly. Thank you very much.
8-9 hitters, Nakarada and Liuza before we'll get back to the top of the order hold here in the LSU 7. Advantage only one unearned run off Matt Campbell, who came in after ineffective outings by fifth-year senior starter Stephen Bondurant and closer Aaron Rawl, who came on in the third right out in front of the plate. Powell pouncing on it, and the throw was right in the line of Nakarada. The triplet manages to snatch it right before Nakarada gets there.
The way that play is supposed to work, the first baseman is supposed to be standing on the inside of the bag, and he's supposed to be hollering inside. But a lot of times as a catcher, especially as that ball rolls up the first baseline, you drop your arm just the slightest amount, and that ball will run back into the hitter. You've got to take one extra step out to be able to make that throw correctly.
Liuza hammers that one through the hole and has his second straight hit. Leadoff double in the fifth. He's also reached on a walk. They've gotten something out of their number 9 hole today.
Smoke LaValle was talking about how much improvement a lot of his young players have made, but Liuza probably more so than anybody else, being a freshman, having to step in behind the plate and catch all of these pitchers as well as improve defensively. Not only has he done that, Smoke LaValle was most impressed with the improvement that he's made in his offensive part of the game.
As far as his defense, Smoke, a former catcher, called his current catcher, Liuza, the guy who was just born to catch. And he said what he meant by that was he never gets tired.
He watches TV in a crowd.
When you pull him early, he goes down to catch the bullpen. He always wants to be active. And Smoke says, boy, was I ever the opposite.
Wait till he gets 35. Absolutely sparking.
Melillo, Harris, and not in time to get the speedy Holt. So aboard on a fielder's choice with now 2 gone.
Gets this ball inside. Campbell pitching very well. Right on the hand, the ground ball. The ground ball was actually not even hit hard enough to be able to get the double play turn, but they did get the lead runner.
Now Ryan Patterson. Smoke LaValle got his nickname after Smokey Burgess. This goes to how he feels he was as a catcher. Smokey Burgess, the old Pirate catcher, known for a great bat and not a very great glove. And his teammates saw the same tendencies in Smoke LaValle. Not a very enthusiastic catcher. Said, I'm not going to dive for those pitches in the dirt. That hurts.
Smoke, don't call me Raymond.
Well, I had roommates who never knew my name was Raymond. That's why I looked at a kid like Liuza and his enthusiasm for the job and wearing the tools of ignorance with such admiration. Longtime assistant to Skip Burton. SEC Coach of the Year this year. His second year replacing the legend in Baton Rouge.
This will tell you how long Smoke LaValle has been involved with LSU baseball, although that he did leave for a little while and come back. But he was the third base coach when we played LSU in 1984.
Long throw by Busher. Gets Patterson. And now 3 in the third for Matt Campbell and just the unearned run. So the bullpens have finally kicked in this offense set. We're in the middle of the 7th.
Welcome back. Our big leader is Carl Senegren, a bouncer from Saskatchewan. His hobbies are eating and lighting firecrackers. And it says here, Carl, you're looking forward to the 7th grade. You're going to be a teacher?
No, student, Alex.
You mean you're not even in high school yet?
What is no? But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Let's get some harder questions here, huh, Alex?
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Ready for this? I call it the Super Slammer. Dunk your grandma. Get to my loose. Through the leg. Behind the back. Chocolate thunder attack. Girlfriend love. Head turn it. Bye, feeling. What's the feeling? Horizontal monumental turbo power magical rim rack.
I swim the 200. I study sociology. I grind out laps. I cram for tests. I race nationals. I take finals. And when I finish, I'll be ready to start.
There are 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and thanks to continued support, Coca-Cola helps them pursue their dreams.
LSU has a 3-run lead on South Carolina, and maybe the man responsible for a lot of LSU, or at least part of LSU smoke, are his two parents. Two people responsible here. We have Bob and Betty Laval.
At least we got him up to this age anyhow.
Now, first, everyone wants to know, where does the name Smoke come from? I asked him this morning, and he said, Betty, that you didn't even want to know for a number of years.
That's true. That's true.
Well, there was a pitcher for the Pirates named Smokey Burgess. And then when he went to school down in Panama City, the boys started calling me Kate. He looked like Smoke.
Were you worried it may have meant something else?
Well, I did at first. But he's always been so good that I was never upset about it.
Well, Bob, I understand that he is actually, or was actually, a phenomenal basketball player.
Sure, he was a very good basketball player. Yeah, that's for sure. He played all sports, but basketball, I think, he was really good at it. But he was just a little bit short. That's when he started calling with his tall guards and stuff, you know. And he was, I think he was about 5'11", but he holds all records himself. He had 59 points in a game, averaged 28 to 29 points a season. So he could play basketball pretty good. He liked sports. That's all he ever did.
And still doing now, a special day because it's Father's Day and you're out here. What is it like to watch him, watch the success he's had?
It's nerve-wracking, especially they get 6 runs in the second inning. That's bad. But he didn't seem to be worried. I was watching him down there, and he didn't seem to be cool.
Oh, you don't know. He's been hiding in the dugout. He's been hiding there.
Hey, this ball,
all right, thank you.
This ball is smoked all the way out the opposite field. Home run by Kevin Melillo, and it's 10-8. He was the top hitter against LSU in the regular season series, 5 for 12, including a homer. And he's got another one here today, and maybe a needed shot of life for the Gamecocks running out of outs now.
Melillo stays on this ball well. You see him keep that front shoulder closed. Detterman gets a fastball up in the zone. The ball is already elevated for Melillo. All he's got to do is get the bat head to it, and he does it with some good bat speed.
It had been a long while since any offense showed up at all for Carolina, since Harris's home run in the second.
I don't know about you, Dave, but I wouldn't mistake Smoke Laval for Michael Jordan. I've seen him up close and personal. He might have scored 59 points, but I don't know about that one.
We do know now where he gets his gift of gab. He came from both sides of the family tree. Ryan Triplett, yet to be retired. RBI single and has walked twice. 82 pitches now from Detterman. Still nobody up in the bullpen, though. Laval shows a lot of confidence in him, and at this point, no doubt, thinking of saving Justin Meyer for his Game 3 start.
Well, this is going to be a big test for Detterman here, simply because he gives up the home run on a ball that's elevated. The last thing that he wants to do is start pitching around the strike zone. We see now he's going to a 3-ball count. The reason he was so successful in these earlier innings is he was being very aggressive in the strike zone, throwing both his fastball and breaking ball for strike. But right now, after that home run, he seems to be dancing around the strike zone a little bit.
It's a pop-up here. Gill, 1 out of the 7. And if you're the Tigers, you're starting to count those out, aren't you?
I think everybody in this ballpark is counting the outs at this point. You just never know exactly what's going to happen in 2 innings in collegiate baseball, especially in this ballpark with the wind blowing out of left a little bit. It's going to be something. You see him looking back up into the sky, and he's got those glasses upside down on his hat. If you have your glasses upside down in the big leagues and you drop that ball, it's got to be a fine. That's going to cost.
Luckily for him, just in the last 5 minutes or so, the sun has dipped behind the clouds. A little more overcast.
He had him that way when it was bright.
Yeah. 2-0 to Trey McDaniel.
Trey's war paint seems to be holding up pretty well on his face there.
It is. It hasn't hurt him at all. And a productive bottom third of the order today for Ray Sanders. And an RBI out of McDaniel. An RBI out of Campbell, his number 8 hitter, and 2 RBIs out of his number 9 hitter, Tolliver. Freshman from West Columbia, South Carolina. These 2 go right by him, and it's 3-2. Now ball 4. McDaniel aboard for the 3rd time. Let's update our bracket. Loser this one goes home. Tonight, winners meet. Stanford and Cal State Fullerton at 7 Eastern, ESPN2. Miami and Southwest Missouri State in a loser goes home game at 2 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN2, and followed at 7 Eastern by a meeting of winners from yesterday, Rice and Texas. Big bats and outstanding pitching in that match. So outstanding that the ace of the Longhorn staff last year in their championship run, Justin Simmons, is just another guy in the mix this year.
He really is. I mean, he's the guy that won 16 ball games last year, and he's really not a power pitcher. They've got 2 freshmen out of the bullpen from Texas that really throw some high velocity, but Justin Simmons is he's a finesser. He's a guy that's going to stay right around the low 80s, and he's going to throw a mid-60s changeup, but he turns the ball over, and you get a lot of guys getting out in front of the baseball, hitting a lot of ground balls. And I still believe, whether it's college, little league, or professional baseball, the toughest thing for a hitter to do is to wait.
Brady Wiederhold, the pitching coach, out after he's seen Melillo homer. Triplet pop up on a 3-1 pitch. McDaniel walk. And Detterman fall behind Campbell. Detterman now at 92 pitches. They've been there since the first. They got the last out of the first after the Gamecocks had chased the starter, Bo Pettit, with 6 runs on 5 hits and 2 walks. Detterman has allowed only solo homers, one by Justin Harris in the second. The Melillo shot this inning. And he'll get out of first trouble with a double play ball. Gill, and Harris to end the 7th. And the Gamecocks now down to their last 6 outs. A rather productive meeting on the mound.
This summer, ESPN2 invites you to the hottest block party around. Kick it on Friday nights with host Most Def for sports and more. ESPN2's Block Party, presented by Dodge. This summer, beginning Friday at 7.
Time Warner Digital Cable gives you the power to control movies. You're going to have to catch them. You can catch this true story anytime.
You're beautiful.
So are you.
Romance is made to order on your command. Darkness falls at the touch of a button. Control the thrills.
Consider this my 2 weeks' notice.
No notice necessary. This romantic comedy starts instantly. Now, with the power of eye control from Time Warner Digital Cable. If you don't have digital, call Time Warner Cable now.
My mom's the best. She works hard and counts on her car to start every morning. She called Dad since the car broke, and she's stranded on the side of the road. I sure wish they would have taken the car to Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up.
Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up offers a complete line of automotive services, including brakes, transmission, radiator, electronic engine tune-up, and our famous 17-point oil change. Come to Speedy for fast, friendly service you can trust. Locations in Charleston, James Island, Mount Pleasant, Somerville, North Charleston, Myrtle Beach.
NCAA Championships on ESPN. The College World Series is brought to you by Holiday Inn Express. Stay smart. Chevy, the cars you can depend on. The cars that last. We'll be there. And Coca-Cola. Let's make it real.
Bob Gibson Drive over there, and that is the view from atop the Desert Dome at Henry Gorley Zoo here in Omaha. As we reach the 8th inning, Tigers get another chance to add to a 2-run lead. Matt Campbell has held them scoreless the last 2. Aaron Hill leading off the 8th.
Hill is a guy that a lot will be expected of him as he moves to the next level. He's got all of the tools, tremendous makeup, according to Smoke Laval, a guy that plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. But it's very difficult leaving collegiate baseball, hitting with an aluminum bat, and then going into professional baseball and making the adjustment to a wooden bat. And that's part of what, I guess to use the cliche, separates the men from the boys when you head into minor league baseball.
Carolina shortstop last year, Drew Meyer, their best player. Rangers first rounder, trying to make that transition.
And we've talked a few times here in these ball games about how important it is to be able to handle failure.
Justin Harris with the throw just in time to nip Hill.
Hill will definitely have to be able to face some struggles when he gets into professional baseball, because that ball right there, if he hits that with a wooden bat, that's going to be nothing but splinters.
13th overall pick in the draft. Moved into the role of team leader after the tragic passing of Wally Ponte. Bill Reynolds passes the note, too, that after Wally's death, Billy Beane, the A's general manager, flew to his hometown, gave his parents an Oakland A's jersey with Wally's number 31 on it, even though he had already committed to go back to school. Pretty classy move.
Pretty classy move.
Harris sends one to Butcher, who handles it, makes the throw. 2 quick outs in the LSU 8.
Now, Billy Beane's taking some heat for the book Moneyball, even though it's selling like hotcakes. But the thing about it is, you don't win as many ball games as he has with the payroll that he's done without being a pretty dadgum good GM and being able to be a talent evaluator and not a guesser. When you have a certain amount of money that the Oakland A's have to spend, you got to do a pretty good job with it. There's no open safe to pull out all this cash.
So he's looking at guys in situations like this, guys who have a track record at a higher level than high school.
And I think more and more clubs are leaning towards good college players that already know how to play the game, because they can get them to the big leagues faster. If you've got to pay $1 million for a top-end prospect, the last thing you want to do is have a high school kid that you hope might make it. At least have some type of value judgment before you write your name on the bottom line of that check. You guys have an opportunity to contribute a lot quicker coming out of a major college baseball program.
You're seeing more and more of it. You're seeing some teams draft pretty much exclusively college. Pretty much at the forefront of that movement. The last 12 outs recorded by Campbell, all on ground balls. 3 ground outs and a 1-2-3-8 here. The Gamecocks down to their last 6 outs.
How do we get Alpha Theta Theta make a collect call?
Down, with 1-800-CALLABC. 3 for you and G for the man.
And by them, I mean...
all the blind money.
Yeah. Now break it down.
1-800-CALLABC. Good.
Save
them on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATP for collect calls.
There are heavy rains heading towards Chicago. There are going to be flight delays.
Send out Orbit's Traveler Care Alerts. Destination Orbit.
I'm contacting customers via email and cell phone, so they won't have to waste time waiting in the airport. Next, I'll contact their friends and family so they know about the delays, too.
Oh, no. My husband will miss our son's birthday party.
It's going to be okay, ma'am.
We'll have him home in time to light the candles. Another mission accomplished, Care.
Friday in the College World Series opener, the Cardinal outstanding pitching and timely hitting as they went into blowout 8-0 over South Carolina. Game 2, the Titans of Cal State Fullerton had more outstanding pitching and hitting. Another showcase of a balanced attack. The unbeaten Stanford against Cal State Fullerton coming up at 7 Eastern. 2-hitter through 8 for John Hudgens. And it'll be their number 2 starter, Romantic, undefeated against Miller for the Titans tonight at 9-2.
And Romantic is another freshman starting for Stanford. And you would have to believe from Mark Marcus' standpoint that if he knew that he was coming to the College World Series and had to rely on a freshman in Game 2, hopes would not be high. But this kid has absolutely stepped up, hadn't lost a game yet.
Collison showing bunt 1-1. Top of the order to Langus next. The at-bat by Justin Harris this inning will be key. He's 2 for 3 with a sacrifice, a homer, and a single. So far, no base hits by the man who would bat 4th this inning, given the chance. Brian Busher, the top hitter in the SEC this year. Probably will get to see him as Collison laces a single to left, and he's aboard to start the 8th. There is finally action in the Tiger bullpen. But you can't say enough about what Jason Detterman has done in getting LSU from the first inning disaster all the way into the 8th.
Well, Detterman has done a great job, but as we can see in the last inning, getting a little bit fatigued. And when you get fatigued, you change the way that you're throwing the baseball. You're trying to make, your brain tries to make your body do one thing, but your body says,
And we'll shoot Langus 3 times.
You try to, a lot of times a pitcher, especially late in the ball game, his elbow starts to drop a little bit, and when your elbow drops, your hand gets flat and the ball starts to fly away from you on arm side. Very difficult to get the ball back down on your breaking ball, and it's hard to get that sink on your fastball because you're trying to edge that ball up. You're trying to edge your elbow up, and a lot of especially young pitchers, they start to get tired, and instead of getting their elbow back up, they start doing this. They're pushing the baseball, or their hand gets flat. The ball starts running, and it runs back over the plate, and you start seeing line drive.
Here comes number 100. And it is low. It's 2-1 to Tulane. So would that change in mechanics explain not only why you start to get hit, and then as long as he has, but also why some injuries occur?
Well, it is, because once you, as a coach, once you see that elbow start to drop, you got to get him out of the ball game, because not only is he risking an injury, but he's pushing the baseball. And anytime that your elbow drops, you start to lose the feel of the baseball. When your fingers are not on top of the baseball, you lose control. When they start to get to the side, you can't be as consistent in the strike zone. Your breaking ball gets flat. Your fastball starts to tail arm side. Very difficult to continue to throw strikes.
That might have been his last pitch had it missed. It's 3-2. Billy Sadler loosing in the bullpen. 6 of the last 13 Gamecock hitters have reached against Devon. Ball 4. Tying runs are aboard. And he'll have to face Harris, who has homered and singled today. Don't forget tonight on ESPN, Sunday Night Baseball, this matchup, one you will not want to miss, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Top team in the National against the top team in the American. The Braves sending Greg Maddux to the mound against Ichiro and the Mariners, who will counter with Gil Mesh, who's pitched like an ace all season long. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Nextel. Well, the only man that visits Detterman is the catcher, Liuzzi. Adler continues to warm, and they'll let Detterman face Harris. The second batter he faced back in the second inning, and Harris homered.
I think the key right here in this inning is Brian Busher. What are you going to do with him? He is South Carolina's most productive and best hitter. Even though Justin Harris is right-handed, Busher gets from the left side. I'm sure that is in the back of Smokey LaValle's mind as far as what he wants to do, unless he's going to bring in the right-hander Sadler to face Busher from the left side. I don't know that he wants to do that.
Harris says his best moment as a college athlete was beating Miami in the Super Regional last year to make it to Omaha and keep the Hurricanes at home. Comes through here, this might rival that moment. He has a chance to keep the Gamecocks here in 2003. Again, missing badly.
Well, we can see more and more as we get deeper into this ball game and deeper into this inning that Detterman is pushing the ball. That's why the ball is going into the ground. Every once in a while, you'll see him stay back a little bit and get his arm up, and he'll make a quality pitch. But more so than not, the elbow is dropping. This kid is tired.
Understandably so, going past the 100-pitch mark this inning. Tag applied down at first by Harris. But for the second time, Justin Harris has a sacrifice. And Collison's reached third. Kutlangas has reached second. So the tying run is not only on, but in scoring position for the top hitter in the SEC this year, Brian Busher.
The big key for Busher, the first two times that he came to the plate, besides the second AB when he got hit, but his first two times he put the ball in play, hit ground balls to second base. When you're a great hitter and you really want to win, especially as a senior, you try to carry your ball club, you try to do a little bit too much. And he was pulling that front shoulder out and getting around the baseball. The last time up, he hit a fly ball into deep left center field. He stayed behind the baseball, and that's what he's got to do here. If he's going to be productive in this situation, he's going to have to stay behind the baseball, but he might not get a chance.
Brady Wiederhold is out again. Busher is looking for his first hit in this College World Series. He's 0 for 6, 0 for 3 hit by pitch today, 5 for 22 last year. So yet to really make his stamp on action here in Omaha. Let's check in with Alex.
Hey, Dave, one of Brian Busher's biggest fans is actually LSU coach Smoke LaValle. LaValle played with Brian's father, Bernard, at Jacksonville University. So Smoke has followed Brian's career and says he's always pulling for him. Of course, except for today, maybe.
That will be all for Jason Detterman. The Tiger dugout empty. We're going to greet him and give him a very sincere congratulatory greeting as he steps on. He has been the bridge to get LSU from down 6-0 to ahead 10-8, 5 outs away from the bench. 6 2/3, 105 pitches, gives up only solo homers to Justin Harris and Kevin Malillo.
You think the LSU guys weren't happy about the performance of Detterman? They almost went onto the field to congratulate him. I mean, they were all moving out.
That could be a career-making performance, Cannon.
Well, it makes all the difference in the world as a freshman, being able to come to the College World Series and pitch like that, especially in crunch time. I mean, these guys were down 6-0. Their starting pitcher, they took him out of the ball game. Pettit didn't pitch very well. Detterman comes in a bases-loaded situation and has to really put it all together, and this kid pitched like a champ. I don't know that you could have expected any more out of the left-handed freshman than what Smoke LaValle got from him today.
Crunch time indeed. And 2 on, open scoring position, 1 out, 8th inning. Detterman got him here. reviewing the bracket. Loser goes home. And tonight, Stanford and Cal State Fullerton will try to stay in the win-only column. Bracket 2 tomorrow at 2 Eastern. Another elimination contest. Miami, champions here 2 years ago. Southwest Missouri State here for the first time ever. Only since '83, a Division I program. Rice and Texas. Both very impressive, dominating for most of yesterday. They'll meet after a 2-1 Texas Classic here last year. A 2-1 game also earlier this season. That's 7 Eastern. For pitchers to dominate that one, unlike this one. Letterman, the only pitcher who really has shown much other than Campbell, and Campbell has been just about for the Gamecocks what Letterman has done for the Tigers today. Last year, a play that may forever stand as the greatest defensive play in Omaha ever. Cutting down Vincent Sneaky with what would have been a key run, obviously, when you lose by 1.
And you can see Wayne Graham. I know he's had it. The question asked him time and time again, why didn't you just stand there and just stand up? He dives out of the way, and that's what allows the throw to come right over the top of him to home plate. If he stands there, which he could do very well, standing in the coach's box, he can divert the throw, but he got down, and Texas was allowed to make the play. But as Wayne Graham would tell you, I'm never standing in one of these kids' way and causing him to make a bad play because of where I'm standing on the baseball field. I'm just a coach.
Well, it's Billy Sadler's game now. His first pitch is grounded through on the right side as it gets away from Delaney. Butcher's going to stay at first, but 2 runs scored. Every time in the inning. So at last, Busher contributes here in Omaha. Does he ever?
Talked about this from the first inning on. You can see that front shoulder really close up. You see him get over the plate. That front shoulder right there stays closed, and that's what allows him to get over the baseball and take that ball and pull it into right field. See Zarang comes flying in. Zarang has got a great arm from right field, but if you have a great arm, you've got to catch the ball first before you throw it. Ray Tanner was holding up his runner at third base, but after Zarang bobbled the ball, he could have walked him.
Busher gets 1 RBI. The second run scores on the error by Zarang. And now there's Busher's first, the go-ahead run for the cleanup hitter, Landon Powell, who has singled twice, scored, and driven in 1 today. The Bears repeating was 11 of his last 15 coming into Omaha. 0-2 with a walk here Friday. Billy Sadler out of Pensacola, Florida. Runner goes, hit the run, puts the gap, perfectly placed. Busher will come all the way around with the go-ahead run.
I can tell you right now the reason that Ray Tanner put this on is the pressure situation for Landon Powell. He puts on a hit and run, so the only thing Landon Powell has got to concentrate on is putting the bat on the baseball. Watch his eyes go to this baseball. You see that chin come down to the chest, keeps his head right on it. That's Ray Tanner trying to make sure that his hitter keeps his concentration. Busher just absolutely motoring on the play. That goes back to what we talked about early in this ballgame about Ray Tanner knowing his players. That's a great job by a coach right there, taking advantage of the situation.
3 pitches, a single, a double, and 3 runs have scored since Sadler, a 6th-round pick by San Francisco, entered the game. Now Murillo, who homered last time up. Until then, there was a noticeable sag in the spirits of the Gamecocks. He gave them new hope. And ropes this one to center. Hope misjudged it. Had some leap to bring it in.
The toughest play for a center fielder today is that play right there. The line drive that's right at you. It's very difficult to judge the height of the baseball. As a center fielder, you want to be, especially with speed like J.C. Holt has, you want to be able to get a jump on this ball. In your mind, you think that ball's going to fall in front of you, so you break forward, and all of a sudden that ball starts to lift a little bit. If that gets over his head, hey, there ain't nobody behind him.
Is there any worse feeling than to start in, see one sail over you? That one almost did.
I know as a pitcher, I didn't like him sailing over mine.
Ryan Triplett now walked twice and singled in a run. Finally, Sadler gets a chance to settle in. X Games Global Championships next here on ESPN. 3-run rally in the bottom of the 8th by Carolina. What did we say? 6-0, that's not safe. 7-3, that's not safe. 10-7 LSU, that wasn't safe either.
What we did say is you just never know with the wind blowing out in Omaha. It looks like it's almost swirling. You can't tell if it's blowing in, blowing out, or blowing up.
Well, it's done a little of everything today. By the way, looking ahead to the LSU 9th, 6, 7, and 8, Lorraine, Stewart, Nakarada due up. Stopped by Liuza. 2 balls and 1 strike to Triplett.
Well, I know it's not blowing in because I can't smell the bug. First couple of games we did, I knew it was blowing. You could smell it.
It always comes back to barbecue.
Southern blow.
Well, you've been up for 3 hours, you hadn't had a bite to eat. Just working on fumes.
Dying over here.
On the corner, 2-2. Campbell, if he comes out for the ninth, has given up only the 1 unearned run in his 4 1/3 innings of relief.
Campbell has pitched very well. He did. Getterman did the same thing, throwing his breaking ball for strike, keeping his fastball down in the zone.
Campbell's a ground ball machine, too. Looking ahead, Zarang, Stewart, Nakarada. Zarang will get a chance to atone for his error this inning. Now the second run that scored.
And normally I would think that you would imagine that LSU would have a tough time at the bottom of the order tonight.
Nakarada flags that one down. But the Gamecock season in microcosm. A bad start turns into a hopeful finish. We go to the 9th. The loser goes home. A 1-run game. Omaha Classic.
Starting today, muscle pain is no reason for not taking off, not touching down, not raging, not ice dancing, not going vertical, not hitting the wall, not hacking, not taking the gloves off, not getting dirty. Introducing new Tylenol 8 Hour with 2 layers, one that's fast and one that lasts. All day, 1 dose. New Tylenol 8 Hour. It's the Tylenol for muscle pain, because not playing is not an option.
Motorcycle financing can have a funny way of changing on you when you don't expect it. So keep your eyes open and get a straight deal that doesn't change with financing that's as solid as a Honda. 0 down payment, 0 payments for the first 3 months, and lock in a low 6.9% fixed APR for up to 5 years on any new Honda motorcycle, scooter, personal watercraft, or ATV. Monthly payments that don't change. That's a straight deal. And right now, get up to $300 in bonus bucks on select models at your local Honda dealer today.
ESPN HD. This one. Brought by Phillips Best Buy. And we head to the 9th inning. It's 11-10 South Carolina. They led 6-0. Then they trailed 10-7. Came back with 1 in 7. 3 more in the 8th. And our Pontiac high performance moment. Today.
Ray Tanner puts on a hit and run to get Busher around, and all he does is take the pressure off of Landon Powell.
Pontiac high performance moment. The hit and run, RBI double. Leading the 3-run rally in the 8th. Now Campbell out for the 9th. Zarang has singled twice. Last time up, grounded to short. Quickly behind 0-2.
Those two pitches have been the key for Campbell ever since he came into the ballgame. He's been able to throw his breaking ball on both sides of the plate, and just when the hitters start to look for that breaking ball, he comes back with that kind of fastball.
Just missing with that.
It's very difficult to hit on both sides of the plate. You see a breaking ball down and in, and then you see that electric fastball.
Another ground ball. Wisher to triplet, and the Tigers are down to their last 2 outs. 13 straight outs recorded on ground balls. In the spirit of Wally Mata, work magic here. The Tigers beat anything they can get. William Stewart has more than done his part. The DH has driven in 4 runs today. 2-run homer, bases loaded walk, sacrifice fly. Last time up, he grounded it. Changing to his right is Melillo. They're down to their last out. And we sang the praises, justifiably so, of Detterman, but we're going to end this singing the praises of Campbell.
Campbell has really pitched very well. His breaking ball goes straight down. That's why we're seeing so many ground balls. And he's got a plus fastball. You can't sit on either one of these pitches. His breaking ball starts from the zone and goes straight down. And all of the hitters can do is beat it into the dirt.
Nakarada, who is 0 for 4. 13 consecutive outs on grounders. 5 innings, 2 hits, only 1 unearned run since Campbell came in the 4th.
And Smoke Laval told us early in our meeting that he's only got a couple of guys off the bench. You probably wonder why, with a left-hander up at the end of the ballgame and a left-hander on the mound, you don't make the change. But too many choices from Smoke Laval's perspective right here.
Tigers down now to their last strike. The only time they've ever been swept 2 and out in Omaha, 1994. Before rallying again to stay alive following their 2002 trip to win it 11-10. And LSU will go home, but they're still young. Look for them right back here, possibly next year. Bracket 1 continuing tonight on ESPN2, Stanford, Cal State Fullerton, 7 Eastern. South Carolina moves on. Tomorrow, either Miami or SMS will go home. And then Rice and Texas will go at 7 Eastern. That's 3 games from Omaha on ESPN2. This is classic Omaha here today. Coming up next, the X Games Global Championship. But for now, for Jeff Brantley and Alex Flanagan, and for our entire ESPN crew, I'm Dave Barnett. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. A come-from-behind win after blowing a 6-0 lead, and South Carolina hangs around for at least another couple of days.